about that, everybody. Had a little technical difficulties. Forgot to turn on the mic.
That's kind of important, right?
That's my fault.
We'll have a duplication of what happened last time. So
right, that's fine.
Let's get it set up.
All right, so hi. It's your turn. I'm one of your hosts, Marco, and I'm here with Bryn.
How you doing?
And we're going over The Colonist.
That's right. We're playing The Colonist today. It's a truly epic game. In fact, it calls itself an epic game. Let me see who it's by. I forgot actually already. I was supposed to look at this ahead of time. But let's see here. The game's by Tim Poles, and it was produced by Mayfair Games. Sad face. Anyway, poor Mayfair. Either way, so what we're going to be doing today is going over how to play it. However, this game is so massive in scale, we couldn't possibly show you the entire game. So what I'm going to do is show you 2 of 4 eras through play. I'm going to introduce to the game. We'll take a brief break, and then we're going to do a lot more crazy, fancy camera work because you might notice everything in this game is very small. Okay, it's very small. So a lot of the text is, and I want to make sure you get a really good idea of what you're looking at and why we're taking the actions we take. So in brief, the purpose of the Colonist is to collect the most money. There's coins in the game that you actually don't, yeah, I'll take some coins, throw them there for them, that you actually don't spend on anything in the game and literally are just points. The buildings that you build on your playmat, which is over here, we'll be showing the playmat more later when we play, more direct view of the playmat. The buildings you build are also worth coins. In fact, let me show you a sample building up here on the camera. And you see everything's very small, very, very small. But it's worth 1 coin at the end of the game. The final and most important thing that's worth points are your workers. As your workers work buildings, they're worth points. Farmers, which are these green guys, are worth 2 points, which is terrible. Colonists, as they begin to get better, are worth 6. And then we're not going to play through eras 3 and 4 where you would see the next level of worker. But really, this game, if you want to simplify it, is about employing your workers. You only get points for workers that have jobs at the end of the game. So so let's get into showing you the primary mechanic and how it's played. So pull these off really quick. So in the game, you'll see this primary little board here made up of tiles. Okay. These tiles each have a different effect. Now I know it's tight and it may be hard to see it. We will be going through our actions as we go through the game. We'll show each thing we're doing. But essentially, during a turn, each player is going to get to move their pawn. I'm going to be orange this time because there's no red, unfortunately. You're going to get to move your pawn 3 times. Each space you move your pawn to has to be adjacent to the space that you moved previously, with a few exceptions we'll get to. And you have to take the action on that space. Now the trick of the game is, in order to take the action, if it's a pay action that you have to build something, you have to build something. So you're really trying to do your best to position your pawn in a place so that you make sure that you can do all the actions on the way to the actions maybe that you really want to do and maximize on your movement. So it's kind of like worker placement, but not really. You're moving your worker around, taking the actions as you go, but you must take the actions you step on or place your pawn on. So the game is played over the course, as I said, of 4 eras. Each era consists of 5 years, and each year consists of 2 half years. So basically, there's 10 turns per era. So the last thing to show you on the game board is that we're going to be spending a lot of time on, I don't know if we've got a vision here yet. Let's see if I can show you. Okay. You're going to be able to get a much closer...
Grab that and pull it towards you.
Pull it towards me?
All right.
Here we go. This is going to be a little better. Okay. When we start playing, you're going to get a much better view of this playmat, right? But you're literally going to be building your buildings on this playmat and employing your workers on buildings that you're building. You're going to be managing your storage. Storage management is one of the most important parts of the game. In fact, if you'll hand me a storage building, please.
All right.
One of the small ones would be great. Storage buildings, you'll see that you have these little spaces for storage. You've also got a space for a warehouse. In the game, you'll be able to build these storage buildings, which create more spaces for more goods. This is really one of the most fiddly but tricky but yet rewarding parts of the game. I'm going to focus in here as well. So because the storage management element of the game is really the most fiddly part, but I think it's the most rewarding and exciting part because you can only use goods, regardless of how many you have in your warehouse, regardless of how much you have on your playmat. You're only allowed to use goods on a given action that's in your storage. So the management of making sure you have the right goods in the right place as you move your pawn to places to take actions is really the trick of this game. And like I said, it's a really big game, so it's going to be hard to give you a full scope of it without you actually seeing the game played for a few turns and see how it goes. But I want to mention one more thing. So each game, this set of tiles that are here in the middle here, as we play, we're going to be adding new tiles. In fact, actually the first 3 tiles are visible in the game. Here, I'm going to put these over here. So after we finish a year, 3 more tiles will get put onto the game board by whoever's first player at the time, and that'll change throughout the game. So this little board here that's tiny will grow and grow and grow, and they'll have more and more places that are built all throughout this board. And like I said, we're only going to play 2 eras. But if we were to play all 4, this would be a quite sizable board with a ton of tiles all over it, right? So the game expands as you go, and there's more actions as you go, and they get stronger and better, and you get more efficient. It really is a really great civilization builder that I haven't seen paralleled as far as the scope yet. So let's see, what else do we got to show before we go? The last thing to keep things interesting are these. I'll move this one into the primary view of the camera. These are called embassies, okay? At the beginning of the game, 4 embassies are selected at random. If we were playing a 3rd era, a 5th one went into the game. But each embassy, and I'm going to turn this up, these are really big cards actually. Each embassy and each era, there's a first era, there's a second era, they have a different effect. So when you build these particular buildings, and they're different each game, which embassies are in the game, they give you access to special abilities you wouldn't have otherwise that aren't necessarily out here on the board. So choosing which embassies you build and when to build them is part of the fun strategy of the game. So like I said, we'll go into the specific details of what the embassies do, what these tiles do, and how we manage all of our warehouse when we come back.
All right, so we're going to take a short little break after that quick how-to, and we're going to kind of adjust some cameras a little bit. Now, if you don't know who we are with It's Your Turn is a very personal project of both of us, where it's not just about teaching you games and doing playthroughs, but it's also about telling you who we are as players and individuals and part of the board game community. Bryn over here is a designer and developer.
That's right.
And I am a reviewer. And we,
with our powers combined.
Yeah, that's right.
We are It's Your Turn.
We are. And we want to show some of our favorite games and go through them, especially when it comes to medium and heavy type of games.
Yep.
Anyway, so here's a little bit about us, getting to know who we are, and we'll be right back.
Thank you. Okay, great. You want to set this up so it's real centered?
All right, so just pull it in some more.
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah. It's about the one being recorded right now.
Stop.
So, what elements most draw me to a game? When I pick up a game at the game store, the first thing I look at is I look at the front art, and if the front art has anything to do with economy, if it says the word city, if it says the word neighborhood, if it says the word market, I'm like, oh, that could be cool. It almost doesn't matter what like the art looks like. And when I pick it up and I turn it over, if it doesn't have a zillion little bits, I don't care about it anymore, basically. So I love games with like tons of little bits, especially if they have to do with like, the economy, right?
Elements that most attract me to a new war game,
Okay.
honestly, at very beginning when I'm in the game store, is the artwork. Because of the fact that, if the artwork looks like
so a lot of the games you're going to be here and here.
There. I want to see it.
Even when I'm talking, if I'm pointing,
this looks pretty amazing.
Get where I'm pointing.
And from that point, that's when I turn it over, start looking at components, mechanics of it.
I've got my drink. Do you want to get yours?
Straight BGG on my phone.
If I'm looking at like I don't know, like a Uwe Rosenberg game, right? I've gotten spoiled on him because it's like these rodent.
I didn't do on this one because there's so much text.
No, it makes sense.
I love it. I would actually argue that I'm not a fiddly. I don't enjoy fiddly games very much, but something about seeing a zillion little parts everywhere like gets me excited. Like, ooh, what do all these do? It's almost like putting together like a clock. You know what I mean? There's all these different pieces to put together. So, but yeah, no, if it's got my economy theme, or if it's got a million pieces on the back, I love it. Actually, one of the things that's most disappointing to me is I pick up like a tycoon game, whatever it might be, and I look on the back of it, and it's like a board, and there's some cards, and it's just like it's a huge letdown. I don't care about this game. I want lots of little pieces. I don't know. It's like
is theme. Like if it's like a Lovecraft theme,
we're not on. Okay.
Role playing.
Confused.
You
said there we go.
I'll
you like words that say.
And I know a few people in my game group who will do it as well. Where they're like, "Oh yeah, role playing. We'll definitely make our own characters, even if it doesn't require that you act them out."
So when it fades out,
that's when like this past weekend we live streamed the 7th Continent, and I played the Russian guy, and I didn't have to speak in Russian. But I felt that.
This is what I'm talking about. I'm looking at the camera.
That was a horrible Russian
camera and documentary.
I'm the Dimitri.
Looking off to the side.
And I had to go.
Yeah.
Like
you were looking at the post. You were looking at the post, but the post was a little bit too close to the camera, I guess.
And also, I don't need that much
And we're back. Now we're going to start our very first round of Colonist.
That's right.
And the first error.
That's right. First error, first round. So the first thing I'm going to point you to is my playmat. Each game, every player starts with 2 farms. Farms actually are where your farmers live. So farmers are the first workers you start with. Every person starts with 2. And we're going to be building buildings that these farmers can go work in that then produce things for us throughout the game. We're not going to start with storage. That'll be coming later. I'll pass that to you really quick. The second thing I want to turn your attention to is the beginning of each year, we start with a market card gets drawn. Now this market card tells you that for this particular year, which will be a set of 6 turns, because there's 5 years in every era, these 2 resources are actually worth points. So if you go to market, you can trade those resources that you have in your warehouse, in your storage, for points. You're also allowed during the market phase to tell you what the market does. And let me show you why on the tiles over here. So if this doesn't make sense yet, I'm going to show you here. So are we here now?
Yep.
Okay, great. So you'll see that we both have started on one of the 2 market spaces. So this market space is defined by what is on this card. So whatever that card shows at the moment is what that market space does. Now the cool thing about the market space is it has 3 different options of what you can do. And remember, just like everything else, you have to do something whenever you take that action, and whenever you go to that space. Okay, so what's great about the market, there's 3 choices. But the best thing about the market is you can teleport to the market or move immediately. So if I wanted to go to this space and then jump to this market, I could do that as my second action and then take the market action. So, so at the beginning of the game, I'm going to get to take 3 turns. So I'm going to show you the start of the year. Close up here. So there's a little card to show the start of the year, and we have a little marker on it to show. Let me actually move this over a little bit for you so you can see a little better. As we move through the phases of the game, this marker will move until we get to the end of year 5, which then triggers the start of a new era. So we'll go ahead and take this away, and we're going to focus primarily now on the game board. So at the beginning of the game, I'm looking at the market space. It gives me food and wood. Now food might seem like it's really important. In this game, food is important for feeding laborers, but your farmers are able to actually feed themselves. So, so we're not worried about feeding them necessarily. You actually do start the game with a single food in your warehouse, but it's not really used for anything right now except points. So what I'm going to try to do in this game is I want to build more storage, because more storage or get more farms, because more storage and farms allows me more flexibility what I can build. Because right now, I can only build things that cost 3 resources. So to show you what we've got on the map here, and I hope you can see this pretty well, if I were to look at building a farm, it would cost me a tool and a wood. And by the way, we all do start with 6 tools. So Mark, can you get out 6 tools for us? Great. as you go through the game, you'll see that this costs 1 tool and 2 wood. Tools are not considered to be part of your storage. You always have access to all of your tools to use. I'll go ahead and take my 6, and they go right here in this space up here to show where my tools are. So I can use the goods in my basic storage, and I can use as many tools as I want. So each thing costs certain things. So right here, this here, the forester's house, which makes wood for you at the end of each year, costs 3 wood and 2 tools. So as you can see, most of the buildings out here don't cost a ton of resources to be able to build. But as we go along, things are going to get bigger. So and the first building you can build that's much bigger is one of the embassies. Now I showed you the embassy a moment ago. It's the really big card right here, okay? I'll get to these in a moment. But I want you to show you that in order to build a single embassy, it costs a tool, 3 wood, and 2 clay. Well, that's 5 resources in storage. I only have access to 3. So again, just trying to say storage is one of the most important parts of this game, which might sound really boring, but it's actually really fun. So let's start the game. So if I were to move to this space right here, which says I gained 2 wood, I could take 2 wood tiles right here, but they'd have nowhere to go because I'm already maxed out on my storage. So it's not a good move for me. I could technically go there and take 0 wood if I wanted to, but that doesn't make any sense. So for our first round, I'm going to go ahead and go over to build more storage, which happens to be right, now the storage space is right here. So I'm going to move up here. Now I can build as many storage spaces as I want in a single round if I have enough resources. Right now I don't, I only have 3 wood and it costs 2. So I'm going to go ahead and pay 1 of my tools, 2 of my wood, and I'm going to get a storage building really quick. The big one down there, great. The storage building go in the first storage space. So now I've unlocked additional storage. Now I want to do more things, so I'm actually going to move back over here to this space for my second action and take 2 wood back. Well, here's the 2 wood I just spent. Take that. And I know that I'm going to want to ultimately be able to create more wood in the game and give my workers something to do. So we're going to move over here to this builder. I'm going to build a forester's house. It's going to cost me 3 wood and 2 tools. So here's 2 more tools out of the game, and all 3 of my wood is gone, which allows me to build a forester's hut. And Marco's got the buildings near here, but I'm going to show them to you up close. So we take the forester's hut. I'll show it over here where I should show it. On our close-up cam, there we go. I'll move it over here. There we go. So you see, the forester's house. It shows a little rotation thing. That means that at the end of each year, this will produce 2 wood. It's also worth 2 points. So I'm going to take it and put it onto my playmat. I usually put my production buildings on the opposite side of my people buildings, so I kind of know what the difference is. So I want to show you one more thing before I turn over to Marco. On each building that requires a worker, you'll notice that it has a little picture of the worker there. In this case, it's a farmer, okay? If I want to use this storage space, I have to take a farmer and assign him there, okay? Same thing for this. At the end of the round, if I want to use this forester's house, I have to take a worker and assign him there. Now here's the deal. This doesn't produce till the end of the round. There's no reason for me to assign a farmer there now. However, there is a reason for me to assign a farmer to the storage because it gives me access to storage immediately. Now I can assign a worker to a building at any point during this whole era, during the year. But as soon as I do, he's committed to that action. He can't move and do anything else until the end of the year. So it's really, really important that when you make these assignments, that you're doing so strategically, because you won't get to take them back. And the more important thing is, later in the game, when you've got these awesome laborers, whenever you assign them to a task, you immediately have to feed them. So we'll get to those later as they come in the game. But for right now, just to be aware that if I assign a farmer to either task, he's stuck doing that. And since right now I don't need the resources on this space, and I don't need to produce wood at the moment, I'm going to leave my farmers right where they are to give me more flexibility. And if you're sick of hearing from me, let's hear Marco take his turn.
All right, so that's Brad's very first turn.
Yeah.
And as you can see, in a game like this, it can either be really short if everybody knows what they're doing, or this is a game that can take extreme amount of time to play because of AP.
Oh boy, yeah, the AP can be crazy on this game.
I mean, it really leads to it,
Mm-hmm.
but you just don't play with APers.
No, come on. No, it really does, and that's why when they say it's 2 hours per era, it can literally be 2 hours per era. This can be an 8-hour game. So, but it's really fantastic, and 2 players is a really nice mix because the game won't take nearly that long, and we're going to play 2 through eras for you in about 2 hours, so it'll be great. So I'm going to narrate what Marco's doing as he's going. So Marco's first thing he did was went ahead and bought storage as well, because obviously it's nice first play. He's going to go ahead and go get some more wood, Now here's the deal. I want to stop Marco right here and show you something. Let's say he wanted to take the action that I'm on right there. He can do that, but he has to pay me to do it. And that's something we didn't show in the game yet. I'm going to show right now. Each era, an era card comes out, just like this one. At the bottom of it has this thing called the fee. The fee is what you pay to another player to be able to use the space they're on. So I'm not blocking it, he can use it, but he'd have to pay me either a food or a tool, and then a building resource. Now building resources are everything from wood to clay to planks to bricks to iron. We'll all get to that later. But just, if he wants to take that action, he's got to pay me extra, and it's strategic where I end up leaving my pawn for that reason. Back to you, Marco.
All right, so while he was talking, I also got 2 wood back. So we've mimicked our abilities so far. What I'm going to do now is jump over into the new market over here, because I don't want to stay near him, because he's just going to block my passage around.
I could do that,
You know, and it's a really shitty move, but it is a good strategy, to be honest, to keep resources up.
So you have 3 options at the market, and which one would you like to do?
I am going to get a farm.
So the market allows you to actually build buildings at it in the third spot. Sorry. So I'm pointing down here. Does this work? Okay, right. So right now he can spend a wood and a tool and buy a farm. Now what's the difference between this builder and the farm up here? The biggest difference is this one has it's very small text. It says 1 time. So in other words, when you go to the market to use the builder action, you can only build 1 farm. Whereas if you got your pawn on the farm space, on the building farm space, you can build as many farms as you can afford or have space for.
All right, so I need a farm.
Okay, great. Let me get you a farm.
And a person.
And as soon as you get a farm, you get the requisite guy that goes with it. So
that's right.
So he's actually got 3 workers now in his game, and I've just got 2. Unfortunately, he has 1 job for them, which he's already assigned to storage. So okay, so that now transitions to the second half year, which nothing changes between the second half year. It just indicates it's the first player's turn to take 3 actions again. So looking back at the board again, I've got a couple options. You'll notice that first of all, in front of me, there's a card called the Librarian. Librarian, look, it gives me a coin. That's a victory point. It's permanent. You can't lose them. You get a victory point for that. But you also get to draw 2 improvements. These improvement cards, which are right here, which I'll show in a moment if I end up drawing them, give you options to build them for. You can play them for benefits. You can build them. They're special buildings sometimes. But in order to be able to play them, you've got to go to the developer. It's another space here on the tile, where you gain 2 tools, which is great for tools, and you can play 1 of your cards. So one of the elements of the game to be important is hand management, because you can only ever hold 6 of these improvement cards at a time. That's it. You can't even draw anymore if you're at 6. So you've got to play the ones that you have. There's a building in the game called the Library that allows a little more flexibility. If I build it, I'll show it to you. But essentially it lets you pick some cards up and then discard down, so it gives you a little bit of flexibility in how you draw. All right, so here's where I'm at. I've got my forester's hut. I know by the end of the year I want to make sure that my forester's hut has worked so I can create wood out of it. So you know what I wouldn't mind? I wouldn't mind having another farm myself and then jumping back to the forester's hut. But right now, I got no resources. So let's go ahead and start here and go ahead and go to what's called the Riverbank Grove, and it allows me to take 2 wood. So I'll take 2 more wood here. Let's see, I'm going to go over here to the, let's see here, I'm going to go to the market and pick up a wood, and I can get a food. I'm going to choose not to, because I don't want to assign my guy to, actually I can do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and assign him to the storage shed, and it's going to give me a food. Now the reason I can do that is because the market has the ability to get, one of the actions is to get a food and a wood. Great. So I'm going to take that. Now that I've got 3 wood and some other stuff, I actually want to do another forester's hut. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to spend 2 of my last 3 tools, take 1 back, go ahead and pay 2 of the wood, or excuse me, 3 of the wood, and that's going to give me another forester's house, which I'll take from you. Great. And that would end my, that's the end of my turn. So I'm going to move this food up here, because I'll show you some in the round stuff where we're going to be able to maneuver the guys around on our board. But that's my 3 actions, so go ahead, Marco.
All right, so I'm going back in, and I'm taking a look here, and like, see, I knew he was going to block that thing again. The forester hut is such an important item to have.
You can always pay me a tool.
No, you are a tool. You know that? Oh my god. All right, so I'm going to go from market to market.
No, what about that? The
No.
head official.
I'm okay.
You're okay. All right.
All right, so I'm gonna go from market to market because
Okay.
you can do that
Yes.
to pick up a wood
Uh-huh.
and a food.
Okay.
Right over here, and I'm putting it in my storage. I already have a person who's in storage. So that was action 1. Action 2, I'm going to build another storage, which
Okay.
is 1 and 2, right there, for another storage. And then last one I'm going to do is go back and get 2 more wood. to
Because
keep
you
my
won't be
wood.
getting any others other than that.
That's right, you
Gonna
son of
block
a...
it. All right.
Alright,
block
so
it.
that's my turn.
All right, cool. So now we're at the end of the year, and I want to show you the details on how this works when we're at the end of the year. So I'm going to be using this detail cam over here and show you. Here we go. End of the year. So this card is, I think, the most important card in the game. I hope you can see it really well. I am going to read it. So this is called the Course of Play card. Okay, it's very, very tiny text. We've already done the start of an era. We've already done the start of a year. That's when we turn over our market card. That's also where we reveal the 3 spaces. It tells you that each player takes 3 turns. Now we're at the end of a year. So if there's a new starting player, that player becomes starting player. Had Marco gone to the head official, he could have taken starting player from me. He chose not to. That's fine. So I'm still starting player of this first round. And so the next thing that happens is the starting player adds the new places in years 1 to 4. Well, we're in year 1, so here are the new places. Let me move these over again so you can see. And so we've got some cool stuff. We've got a clay burner, a clay delve, which lets us build more clay. We've got a clay burner, which lets us turn clay into bricks, which is going to be very important soon, and another grove for resources. So the rule is that I can place these anywhere I want on the board. However, they have to be touching at least 2 other places. So looking at what's out here on the board, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have some really quick access to clay. So I'm going to put that one down here. So there's a really quick 1, 2 to get 3 clay. And it's always great to be able to make brick out of the clay. So I'm going to put that over here as well. Notice I'm building around the other market specifically so that you can, do we stop the feed?
Nope.
Okay. You putting on the market specifically so we can teleport there and use the spaces. And I've got 2 more wood here, so you know what? It's not bad to surround the market with the ability to build things. And those 3 places are in place. So now we go to the next step. And so I'm back on this camera here. It says now you can redistribute your workers. So this is a free move. Anybody who's been in play, who's been used, you can then move around on your playmat. So we'll zoom in on my playmat for a moment here. This is the moment where I can take this guy here and move him over here. Now, put him back on the farm for redistribution, or I can move him into the forester's hut or whatever. If this food were here, for instance, and I had all my storage filled and I moved him off of here, I would lose anything in this storage space. Fortunately, though, I'm going to move my food up to this basic storage, which frees him up, and I'm going to move both of my workers to the 2 forester's houses that I have built already. So now I've got a warehouse, a food and storage, and 2 guys assigned to the forester's house. So, and that's a free assignment. If your people cost food, you wouldn't have to pay them food right now. It's a free assignment. So now we go to the next step. It's called the sustenance phase. You couldn't get away without feeding them, right? So now it's time to feed our workers. Well, our farmers self-sustain.
Right.
They don't have to be fed. They make their own food. So if right now we had other workers in play that needed food, now we would need to pay the balance. And the balance has to do with your income of food versus your export versus your consumption of food. That's not going to matter in Era 1. We'll see a little more of that in Era 2. So let's go on. Now we move on to production phase. So now any buildings we have worked, we produce out of. So right now I'm going to get 2 wood in each space. Now the wood actually goes into the building itself. There's actually a word for it. I don't remember off the top of my head. But the wood goes here, and it's perfectly, it can stay there. At least it can't produce anymore while there's still wood in there. At least it can't overproduce what it can make. But it's basically storage. It's another area of storage, but I just can't use it to build from. It's got to be in my basic storage area in order to get that. So also every round, and this is really easy to forget, on your board it says you get 3 tools from the smithy every single year. So there's my new 3 tools, so I've got 4 tools. So right now I've got 4 wood in my, I can't remember the reserves, or I can't remember what the exact word is, reserves, and I've got some food that I have access to in my storage. So that would be the end of this year.
Because he's the only one who produces.
And you got tools?
You shut up. You shut your mouth.
All right, so let's move on to year 2, and we'll show you what happens at the start of a year. Again, going back to our course of play card. Okay, so the first thing we do is we turn a new market card up. So this old market card we once had is out of the game. We won't play with it anymore. We're going to draw a brand new market card, none of us have seen. And I'm going to show it to you right here on top of that card. Actually over there, this would be great. So this one you'll see that if we have planks or bricks, we can turn them in for a lot of points. This one we can actually get both clay and wood, so very good. And you can always take the first player marker, which is the head official. If you go to the market as well, you can one of those 3 actions. So the new market card's in play now. I'm going to move it out of the way for a moment up here. The next thing that happens in our course of play at the beginning of a new year is we turn over 3 new places that we're going to be able to place by the end of the year. And we see here we've got the builder for the factory, we've got another grove, and finally we've got the ability to build a farm into an estate. Now, to very briefly go over these, the factory building allows you to increase production of all of your production buildings. So these guys right here, these little forest, what are they called? Foresters' houses would produce 3 goods each if I were working that instead of 2. And then the other benefit is the other card that came out is the farm to estate. So you'll notice the backs of all of these tiles have like an upgrade on the other side, the estate. The estate allows you to actually put 3 farmers, more people, to live in the estate. So if I ever upgraded a farm to an estate, I would add 2 more workers to live in the estate that can then be assigned to do things. So those are places that are going to come out for next round. And I imagine there's going to be some competition on which one of us tries to go first, because the first player gets to choose where those go. So since I've done a lot of talking right now about how the game you've seen 1 year, we're going to go a little faster to kind of get through this era, so that you can see how the eras transition and basically what the embassies do. So,
all right, go ahead.
So I'm starting. So the next thing I've got to focus on is I've got lots of wood. I need clay. Why? So I can build an embassy, because I really want to get one of the early embassies. So first thing I'm going to do is pop over here to this market. Now when I pop over to that market, I can do one of these actions. I'm going to take wood and a clay. So I'm going to take a wood here, and can I get a clay please as well? Great, clay. Now I'm going to need 1 more clay to be able to build the embassy. So we're going to go right here to the head official. It doesn't really matter that I'm already first player, so I won't get that. However, I do get another clay. Okay, clay. And I can put that there. Now I want to go to the diplomat. Now here's where the trick of storage matters. So if we look at my board, you'll see that if I want to build one of these embassies, now I'm telling you this, I'll show you this in a moment, it's going to cost me 3 wood and 2 clay. Well, I've got the 2 clay in storage. Oops, I already made a mistake. As soon as that's there, I'm supposed to have a guy go in there. I don't have one available because he made things last time. I have no people. So I have made a critical error already in the game as I'm teaching it, in which when I took this, I would not actually be able to take this. So that being the case, I'm going to go ahead and put this one back. It's good in this game, especially to let players go, ooh, wow, that was a big mistake. Let me go and take back 1 move. So I'm going to put this back so I can move back to my market space. Now the market space still gave me 2 resources. I haven't done anything illegal yet, but I really need to build a farm. So what I'm going to have to do is, instead of going to this market space over here, instead go to this one instead, and go ahead and go straight over to farm, which allows me to use one of these and one of the woods I have to build another farm right here and get another guy, which I'm going to immediately put into storage, and that would be 1, 2, and then I'll get 1 more action. We'll go ahead and pop back over to the other market where I need to be to get the one wood again and 1 clay. Boy, that was a crazy round. So what I basically did to explain is I went from this forester's house to this market, got the market bonus, built a farm I should say, got another worker, and then popped over to this market over here so that I can set up the big embassy play, which I miscalculated. So
yep, which is a good thing for me.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm like, wow, I do need first player, but he can still take it from me this turn if he goes back to the headmasters at any point. So I'm going to hold off on that. But what I am going to do is I do need to build some foresters.
Yeah, you need some production.
I do. So I'm going to build that first. Go over here, Here is 2 and 3.
Okay, so he's building the production. He's building the forester, and
There we go.
You have a forester's
And
house
I
over
have
there.
Forrester's house right here.
That gets plugged in. Great.
All right, and I'm already going to move a worker down into it because why not? I have so many workers.
There's so many reasons not to, but sure, do that.
You know what? We play our games how we play our games.
All right, let's do it.
All right,
That's one action.
Now that's one action. Number 2 is going to be, I do need the coal as well, and the wood.
Clay and wood, yeah.
Yeah, clay and
so
wood.
the market action, take the clay and wood. Okay.
That's what I'm going to do right there.
Great.
And for my last action is, I still need more clay if I'm planning on going to the estate. But at the same time, what I could do is,
Now, while he's deciding, I want to mention something to you. If he were to pop over to the market space where I'm at, that's a free place. As many pawns as you want can be on the market. He doesn't have to pay me the fee. It's only if he tries to take an action space that isn't the market. So he can jump back and forth between the markets, even if I'm on them with reckless abandonment.
I'm going to do the librarian.
Oh boy.
Go a little different and start picking up these cards over here.
So with the librarian, he not only gets a point, like I showed before, but he gets to draw 2 improvements. So he's got 2 improvements. I can't see what they are. They are hidden information. And he keeps those in his hand until he plays them. So if he wants to show the camera what they do, just to show an example of what these are.
I do, actually.
I won't
here we
use.
go.
Oh, do you want to use it on the?
No, I'm going to do this one. So you can't see it.
It doesn't matter if I see it.
This is what the first card was. It's a nice card, as you can see what it turns into.
Okay.
And that's a free action. I mean, an action that doesn't cost me anything.
Hopefully, when you do build this, you'll show this to them.
I will.
Okay.
This is the next one right here. Now this one, as you can see, has a cost on top. This cost on top is what I have to pay in order to get these benefits.
Okay.
Right there.
Is it a building?
It is shut up.
Oh,
He's trying to get me to talk.
What I want to show is that the development cards, some of the development cards are buildings in themselves, and even though they don't necessarily go on your mat, they count as buildings as far as scoring at the end of the game.
Okay. So we're going to use the detailed camera.
Yeah,
Just
go ahead
move
and
all
show
the
that.
stuff
Yeah,
out of the way.
All right, great.
And here we go. So you can see here
That's great.
that it's a training area. It's not a building, it's a training
Okay.
area. So it allows me to draw an additional card anytime I go to the librarian.
Great. It is a building, and here's why it's a building, because it's worth 2 points, which is it's persistent and permanent. It stays in the game, and it's worth 2 points at the end of the game for it.
All right, so here we go.
Okay, great.
Back into the game.
Okay.
Bryn, go ahead.
Well, no, you've got one other action.
No, that was my third.
So, if I remember right, you went from food to building a forester's hut to drawing a card.
No, to marketplace.
Oh, you went to go to market and then draw a card?
Yep.
Okay, just checking, make sure. So that's it. So that's the end of that. Let me go ahead and go to this. So now I'm going to show you what the colonies do. But the first thing I've got to do is get 2 wood into my storage space. And as you see, I've got this food hanging out here. Well, I'm going to take 2 wood from the reserves of the forester's house, put 1 here, and I can't keep this food, so I lose it. But you need to have the resources you're going to build with in your storage, or you can't do it. So my next move, if you look here, is to go ahead and go to the diplomat. Now the diplomat is what lets me build all of these. I'm going to show them on you here. There's all these different. We have 4 different embassies in the game. Now normally the embassies have different levels based on what area you're in. You can build as many embassies as you want with a single diplomat action. Now, I can only afford 1 of them because these are really expensive. So the first one I'm going to pick up is the Lord Colony. Okay, so I'm going to put this into detail and show you a little bit about what this one does. So the Lord Colony at the beginning at the top says, first of all, it's going to cost me 1 tool. So I'll go ahead and spend 3, get back 2. Because it's going to cost me 3 wood, and I just killed my farmer. No, not really. Here we go. And 2 clay. So there's all the resource cost. I now get the Lord Colony. Let me show you the Lord Colony itself. On my board, it's going to go over here. That just shows that I've got the Lord Colony on my board. Now it doesn't need a worker. Notice there's no worker space for it. So it just does whatever it does. Let me show you what it does. It says you may ignore a place's action and take a good instead. So this doesn't apply to markets. So you'll see that what I can do is when I move on to a specific place, if I don't want to take the action that's there, I can always take a wood or take a clay during the first era. If I upgrade this later, then it gets a little better. But we'll get to that later as we go along. Right now, that's what it does. That's going to give me a tremendous amount of flexibility with regard to moving around the map, and that's why I picked the Lord Colony first. And that is my first action. So now I'm sitting here.
Real quick, I want to say how important that is. I'm sure it was talked about before, but for those who missed it, when you move a worker, you have to do the action that is printed on the tile.
Have to. You have to. Or you can't even move to the space.
Right. So this allows him to not have to.
That's right.
You know,
I
and
can just take
freely
resources.
move and take resources. Because that's another strategy you may want to consider when you're playing games like this. It's about where you place in your tiles.
That's right.
You know, it's about trying to say, hey, I can get there easier than him. Let's put it as far away as possible from him.
Exactly.
Or build it out. And then they're forced to have to do all these actions to get to the tiles you want.
That's right. So up to this point, when I've been placing tiles, I've been putting them within easy reach of both of us because they're easy reach of me. With the Lord calling in now, I can place some very high priority tiles, like the one coming up called the Estate, and put it totally in a place that you can never get to. But because I have Lord Colony, I have a lot easier time traversing to get there. So he might want to take first player from me. So either way, I've done my first of 3 actions. Let's see, what do I want to do next? I'm actually thinking about, I really need to go ahead and get ready for, I want to get ready for the Estate, which means I want to have bricks. And the only way to get bricks is to have clay. So my next action is actually going to be to move here, to go ahead and take a wood and a clay. And the final action here I'm going to take is to go here to get 2 more clay. Can I have 1 more clay, please?
Yep.
Great. So 2 clay, and that's where I'm going to end my round.
Alright, so now that he's done with that, I am now going to move into the headmaster's area, the head office or...
Head official.
Head official. And get my
That'll
one...
get you a clay, and
clay,
he gets in first player.
And first player.
Which you actually, he was already had in front of him, but yes.
I did.
Yes, but now he's first player for real.
So...
What's next?
I'm always first.
Well, that means you get to place the estate wherever you want to
Right.
now, so, okay.
So right now I have that. I'm going to move into the marketplace to get... what's the market? 1 wood and 1...
1 clay. 1
clay.
wood, 1 clay. Mm-hmm.
And since I already have people in my warehouses, hey...
You've got a lot of storage.
They're doing enough, for me that I can immediately go to there.
To the clay burner.
That's
He's
right.
going to be turning his wood and clay into bricks immediately. Now the bricks are an upgraded version of clay. You could think about them that way. They're used for bigger buildings, and he's about to do it. Now he can convert as many times as he wants to, as long as he has the resources. It costs 1 wood and 2 clay for 1 brick. Now later in the game, there's better conversion rates, but right now that's the best he's going to get, and he made 1 brick.
All right, and that's it.
That's it. So let's go to the end of year,
All right.
which I'm going to go ahead and move the Lord Colony page out of the way, and let's go ahead and get end of year stuff done. So we're at the end of year 2, and we're going to go through here. It says, blah, 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 where am I here? Turn of a new era.
Let's put it in.
Let's go ahead and put it in the frame. That's a good idea. Yeah. Okay, great. So now, new starting player of Apical. You are now starting player.
Yep. And so I'm going to move these.
So now he gets to
into
put
it.
those 3 tiles down. So he's going to put those down.
All right.
The next thing that's going to happen is we're going to redistribute workers. After he's done with that, he'll go ahead and place things where he wants. So he put the estate really close to where the bricks are, which is great because that's actually where he's at.
Yep. And we always need wood.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just trying to figure out where to put it, though.
Yep.
You know what?
Right over there. That's good.
Right
Okay.
over there.
Sure.
And then we have the factory. Now this factory card, I'm going to put this right in here, right in the center of that.
The one I just told him about?
Yes. I love this card.
It's
Yes,
great.
I do.
It really
I
is
love
good.
it so much.
The building, yeah.
All right, and
It's pretty expensive. It needs brick to build it, so.
brick and clay.
All right.
So I see he has a lot of clay.
Brick and wood, yep.
And what I'm going to do is, because screw him,
Hey, that's pretty far away from me.
put it far away from him. And because I also noticed his storage was pretty limited,
Yep.
I did it that way too. All right, and that's
Yep.
it.
And now we redistribute our workers. So if we look back at, are we looking at my map again?
Yep.
Let's see here. So I'm going to show you on my map here. Notice I've got this guy here. I can't pull him back because he needs to be able to store those goods for me. Now I've got a problem. If you look here, I've still got 2 woods sitting that I never used from the original forester. So I can move one of the woods here to this basic storage space. However, I have 1 here now, so I won't be able to produce the full 2. I'll be able to produce 1 from that space when I finally produce. If I were to move this guy off of here and leave this space, I would lose all of the storage. It would just go away. So I have to leave the guy there too in order to have the storage. So cool. So I've redistributed my workers. How about you?
I didn't have to.
All right. So sustenance phase. We feed our workers. Doesn't matter at the beginning of era 1. So now we do production. So I'm going to go ahead and create 2 wood in this space, and I'm going to produce only 1 wood in the other space here. And did you get your 2 wood as well?
I did.
Now, don't forget
And-
the 3 tools.
Yep, and I want to say thank you, Sean. It is a nice wall scroll. Nice little Final Fantasy behind us, just to show us real quick. You know, for those who are Final Fantasy VI fans, well, actually anybody, any of the Final Fantasies, there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
A little tribute to you.
We're hoping he gets a little more decoration back here eventually, but you know, I'm boring. So
we're
great.
going into...
Great. If you don't mind, we're going to adjust the camera on the table just a slight bit to zoom out so you can see these new buildings, or at least maybe move it over a little bit. So here we go. So like I said, this is a tight game. The board will grow. We don't always know which direction it's going to grow. It may be hard to see some of the spaces now, but we'll describe them as we go along. So, okay, great. So we're going to start Era 3. Oh, I forgot. Here goes the start. We're going to turn over a new market card. This market card is now gone. And if you can describe that to them.
So, in the market card, it's now, we have a trading that we can do, which is 2 wood, 4 point, or 1 clay, 4 point.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the 2 food.
We can take 2 food.
Or you can do the librarian.
Which lets you draw a card.
Exactly.
So, all right, and the 3 new places coming out are the pub, the baker, and the hollow. So the hollow allows you to produce clay, pretty easy. It's a building that lets you produce clay. The baker lets you gain food, or you can turn food into money, which is great. And finally, the pub allows you to actually put a guy working the pub to create a point every turn. So not a bad little building there. Great. All right, so you get to start. We're at the beginning of Era 3, or excuse me, of Year 3.
All right, and let's go. Now, I'm going to take a look here, and I set myself up so that I can go and produce a factory or an estate if I needed to. So I'm going to move my 2 wood over, just simple like that, because I already have the workers there, and move into the estate. So it takes 3 wood, 1 brick, and 1 building.
One tool.
Right?
Great.
All right, and now that's an estate, so I get 2 more.
Yep, he gets to flip over one of his farms in his estate, and he gets 2 more workers on his playmat. Cool. That's the first action. What next?
So first action is that.
Oh boy.
Second action is, you know, clay is now become very important where we're at. But what I want to do is actually move over here.
He teleported the market.
Completely teleported across.
Okay. And what do you want to do?
Because I don't know why.
You gonna draw a card?
Yes, I am going to draw a card.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice. Yay. And I'm going to go back to librarian, draw 2 more cards.
Okay. So he's reaching his hand limit. He's actually at 5 right now. So the librarian gives you the option to pick up 2 cards. However, if you've got 5 cards in hand, your hand limit's 6, you can only draw 1. And then once you have 6 cards, the librarian just gives you money. Don't forget to get the money, Marco. And you won't be able to draw any cards at all from that space until you start playing them. Okay, so for me, I know I'm going to need bricks, so I'm going to go ahead and go here to the clay burner as my first action. I'm going to spend 1 of the wood and 2 of the clay. And you see this kind of, it's slow at the beginning as far as like what you're able to do. Eventually there's going to be a lot of management. Will you hand me a brick? So I was able to make 1 brick, which is exactly what I need for the estate. Now I need a total of 3 wood, so I'm going to go ahead and move 2 wood from my reserve area back over to my storage to go to the builder. So I'm going to spend 1 tool, the 3 wood and the brick. Oops, that's the clay and the brick, and that's going to let me also turn 1 of my farms into an estate, which gets me 2 more workers, which is excellent because I'm about to build a lot more buildings, much more buildings that I can use. So my next priority now is to get storage. I already ran into a storage problem once. I don't want to run into it again. So the storage, however, is completely on the other side of the world. So how do I want to get there? You know, I've got wood for it. I've actually got 2 wood. You know what? Let's go ahead and teleport over here to get the storage. That's my last space. It's a market space, so I'll get to draw an improvement card myself, which I will show you, and it's pretty cool. It's a holiday flat. Now, you haven't seen this before. What it does is it allows me to employ or bring into the game 1 laborer. So if I build this, it's going to cost me what's printed up here. Oops, let me move it over here. It's printed up here, and it's going to allow me to bring a laborer into the game. Now, I can't use a laborer yet, but at least I have access to that if I want to. And of course, this building's worth 2 points. So I'll go ahead and take that. And that's it for me. So beginning of the second half of the year.
All right, second half of the year is I'm going to go here, get 2
tools. Yep.
And I now get to play a card.
He went to the developers who's going to play one of his cards.
All right. I have a lot of cards.
You got to play some of them, right?
Yep, and I'm going to play this one right here. If you take a look here, this is the anvil. It's going to give me an additional tool. If I want to turn in any other wood and clay, I can get another tool. But there's no point. I'm just trying to waste cards right now because...
Okay. And the anvil, since it's a one-time only, it doesn't stay in his tableau. Once he uses it, it leaves the game. But cards that are worth points actually stay in your tableau area.
Right.
Okay.
All right, so that's action...
That was your first one? Yeah.
Yeah, that's action 1.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see... This is a difficult decision.
So while he's deciding, there's a lot of things that you can do in this game in a given round. I mean, you're going to be making decisions between, wow, I've got guys now. What do I want to do with them? You know, and so you're really trying to make the most efficient plays. Like for me, going for storage is absolutely essential for me because I've got 2 spaces left, and I've already run into some storage problems already. But I could just as easily switch gears and start going for improvement cards like Marco has, and look for really neat opportunities of cards that I can build.
Right.
What would you
So
like to do?
last I'm gonna do is
I think this is your second one.
yeah
actually.
second.
Yeah, second.
but
Another
I'm
forest
gonna go
house.
to the marketplace.
Okay, back to the market.
And I'm gonna draw a card
Draw a card. Okay.
because I don't want food.
All right.
All right.
We don't want food.
No one wants.
Hey, you know the baker's coming in next time. You can sell the
Yep.
food.
And I'm going over here.
Okay, now he went back to the clay
To
delve to get
get
2 more clay.
2 more clay.
Okay, great. So I've already got 2 wood in my storage. I'm going to go ahead and move in my reserves. I'm going to move it here. I'm going to go take this 2 wood space here to get 2 more wood. That's going to give me the 4 I need. And now we do the big play. That's one action. The second action is to go to the storage shed. Now remember, you can build as many as you can afford as long as there's spaces. Well, I've got 2 additional spaces for storage. It's going to cost me 2 tools then to build 2 of them, and 4 wood, which as you see I have available right here, which Marco's going to give me my last 2 storage spots. Great. So I'm setting myself up pretty well. I need people to work on them. I actually have people in reserve over here. So I need to go 1 more space. You know what? I've got no more wood at all, and to be able to build with. So let's just go ahead and go back to the Riverbank Grove and grab 2 more wood, which I'll put up here. And that is the end for me. So now we're at the end of year 3.
All right, end of year 3. So we're gonna put stuff out.
So you're first player. That's fine. So go ahead and put out the places.
All right.
So he's first of all placing the, which one's that? The clay delve. So that allows, that's clay delve, excuse me. The, what's it called?
The hovel.
The hollow. The hollow, which allows you to build a production building that actually produces clay instead of just being reliant on board actions for it. He's going to follow that up with the baker, which allows you to sell food or gain food. And with the baker, you can sell as much food as you want, as you have in your storage area. So.
And then the last one is the pub.
Oh, the pub. Yeah, the pub's great. Makes points for you every turn. Doesn't do anything else, but it makes points.
You know what? I'm just gonna fill in this last space right here.
But just so you know, it is perfectly legal. I'm going to show you. He put the pub here. He could have placed it right here and left a hole in the middle of the board, and that's perfectly legal. It just has to touch 2 spaces. So the pub is now in play.
All right.
Places are down. Let me look at my end of round
Now
card.
we can assign.
We can redistribute our workers. I'm going to bring mine back, although I don't think it really matters that much that I do. I'm going to leave guys on production.
All right. Now we produce.
Let's produce. Yep. So 3 tools. I'm going to get two wood on each of my production buildings. Oops, I'm not trying not to throw them everywhere. And we're gonna go to year 4. So year 4 starts, and we draw a new market card, which I'm gonna put right there for you. And we're gonna draw the last 3 places of this era. Now, the places in each era never change. It's just the orders that come out, as far as when they come out, is what changes. So we see now that we can now build the flat. Which is that improvement card I got. There's another clay delve for more clay, and we can start turning wood into planks. Now we haven't used a building that needed planks yet, but that's going to change really soon, especially with the pub coming out, which is one of the early buildings that uses planks. So, all right, so with our market in play, and the market allows us to build a hunting lodge, by the way, which is kind of cool. It makes food for you. Again, not that important in Era 1, but really important for Era 2. So here we go, beginning of year 4.
All right, so here we go. Now, I have collected some food the past 4 rounds, so I'm going to go here and trade them for a victory point. get them out of my warehouse because they're taking up space right now, and get one more additional victory point. So that's action 1. Action 2, I'm going to build a hollow, which is going to be 3 clay and 2 tools, which will then put this right in here. And I'm going to assign a man to it. And then the last thing I'm going to do is move to...
You built the hollow?
Yep.
Nice. And you can build as many, again, when you go to these spaces, you can build as many as you can afford. Okay? So back to the market.
Back to the market. And I'm going to get a food and a clay.
Okay, great. So my turn now. I'm going to be going for another embassy because embassies are great. They can eventually become really good. So the first thing I'm going to do is get near the diplomat by teleporting to the market. The market's going to allow me to pick up a food, if you give me a food, and a clay. Okay. Now what this does, now since I'm going to put these here, I need to go ahead and assign a guy to it for the storage. Great. I'm going to go ahead and assign another guy to the storage over here to go ahead and pull in at least one of my woods. And now we're going to go to the diplomat and spend it. So just like last time, it's going to cost me a tool, 3 wood. It's one of the more expensive buildings early on. 3 wood and 2 clay. And I'm going to go ahead and build a new type of colony. Now if you remember before, I built the Lord colony. Haven't used it a lot. It's more of a threatening thing than anything. It gives me a lot of flexibility if I need it. But now we have the storekeeper colony. So let me just put this here. And as you see, I paid the resource cost. Here's the cool thing it does. It immediately gives me access to a new warehouse. So you'll notice in the game, are we seeing this board? Okay, let's look to see that board now. Yep. In the game board, you have these spaces that they're actually, you can take them out. You'll see that they actually say don't throw these away because they actually have spaces on them that you use. So what that allows me to do at the beginning with the storekeeper colony is I can take will you give me the large, it's the flip side of either one of those. Yeah. Yep. So now I've got a large warehouse that I can put right here with 3 more spaces. Now remember, warehouse spaces store goods kind of like your resource buildings do. You can't use them to build with, but at least you can swap goods in and out to store. And I've got food I don't really want to be holding on to. So that's the first thing it does for me, building the storekeeper colony. Oh, it might be important to actually build the storekeeper embassy. So I'm going to put that right there. Show you there's a storekeeper embassy showing I've got it. It doesn't need a worker to be able to do what it does. The next thing it does is +1 storage space in each of your storage sheds. So I immediately get to take my storage sheds and flip them over to the other side. So it's a really, really strong colony for storage. So as you see, I am set up for storage for quite a bit of this game. So I'm going to move this down here, and I'm going to take my 3rd and final action for beginning of age 4. And what I could probably use is I need to go ahead and work towards getting a hollow. Wouldn't be bad at all. It's going to take a lot of clay. So I'm going to move here to take a clay and to take first player back from you. Now, if I took first player from him, but if he takes it back, it's whoever has it in control of it at the very end of the year that gets to be first player. So I'll take that, and that is the end of my first half. So now it's back to you. You're still...
All right, so we're now in age 4.
Yep.
And you know what? That was a good play on his part. The thing is, I can't even see what the production costs are because he's hoarding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I knew what they were before we started this game. All right, so I'm thinking over here, and I'm like, okay, I could do a diplomat. I could play more cards, but what would be more important? And it's people. People are always...
People employ. It's very important in the game for points.
So what I'm going to do is... One.
Decisions. Okay, 2 clay.
2 clay.
First action, 2 clay. Next one.
And hovel again.
Oh, you're going to build a hollow. Okay, so it's going to cost him 3 clay and 2 tools, but you got a lot of tools over there.
That's right.
That's pretty good. Been using mine. All right.
I'm going to assign this work over here.
And what's next?
And then the last thing I'm going to do is... Screw you, food.
This is when you do the lords things. You can
I know.
just take whatever you want. Yeah.
is go back to clay.
All right, take 2 clay. That was a good move because now if I want to move past him, I'm going to have to pay the fee, which is exactly what I'm about to do. So you're going to get to see that in real time. So so great. So you're ready for that. It's the end of year 4 for me. I get to take 3 actions. So the first thing I'm going to do is I need that 2 clay as well. So I'm going to move on his space. Now to move on his space, I have to be able to pay him the fee. The fee has to already be in my storage area. I can't use the warehouse resources. I have to use what's here. So before I move to him, I have to maneuver my resources around. Well, if you remember, I've got to pay him a food or a tool, a building resource. So I'm setting up here to do it. I'm going to go ahead and go to the clay delve. That's going to cost me a food. I'm going to use that for the fee. And I'm going to give you a building resource of wood because I have plenty of extra wood, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to give that to you, Marco. Marco can put that wherever he can store it. So that's going to allow me to take the 2 clay I need. It's great. And the next step is to move straight to the hollow, which is going to be 2 tools from me, which is I have 3, so 1 back. All 3 of my clay, and now I can build a hollow building. Will you hand me a hollow building?
I sure will.
Great. Whoops, hollow building.
That's
go
what I think of your hollows.
right down here. And once I work it, I can use it. That was the next action. And finally, converting food into... That would be great if I hadn't traded you the food. So let's go ahead and plan for the last round bit of the game. And that's getting I'm going to be working towards a factory. So I'm going to pop back... Actually, I can kind of go anywhere. And the factory is going to not need this. So I'm going to go here, use my Lord's action, yay, Lord's action, to go ahead and take a clay instead. So I'm going to take a clay instead of doing the action that's there. All right.
All right.
So that.
Now it is end of the year.
End of year 4. Yep.
Yep.
So go ahead and at this point, I'm always forgetting how to do it.
Out.
So yeah, I'm first player now. So I'm gonna place these things out here. So let's do this. I really need this clay near the factory, so I'm going to put it there. This joinery is always good. There's already a joinery over there. I'm going to go ahead and put it up here. Okay, great. And then finally, to be able to build the flat is going to need some of this, so I'm going to put that flat building over. Where's the farm at? It's over here. So I'm going to put this right over here then. We'll do that. Great. All right, great. So those are the buildings to place. Now we get a free replacement of our workers. I'm going to move my wood out of this space and assign a worker to the hollow.
All right, I already have everybody assigned, so I'm good.
Is back. Great. And now production, right?
Yep.
So I'll get 1 clay for the hollow, 2 wood, and 2 more wood. And production's done. Beginning of year 5. Now, beginning of year 5 is a little bit different. We'll still draw a market card. So the new market card replaces the old market card. Allows you to build a forester's house, 1 forester's house, trade in food for points, clay for points, and you can get 2 wood by going to the market. A little bit boring. Now, there's no more places this round because no more places are going to come out this round. So at the end of the round, it doesn't matter who's got what. We're not going to get any more places. So finally, the last thing we do is we're taking our last action.
Yep.
So I get to move 3 places. Well, I know what I'm going for. I really want that factory. So we're going to move here to pick up 2 wood. All right, 2 wood. Now in order for me to use that wood here, I've got to work it. I need to go ahead and work it. Get 2 more clay. Can I have 2 more clay, please?
No.
I do need 2 more clay. I got to assign that guy there. So 2 clay. And now we're going to go to the factory space is my last space. Now it's going to cost, you know what I forgot to get last time? 3 tools. Remember I tell you I always forget tools. 3 tools of production for last time. Okay. Now this is going to cost 3, 3, and 3. So it's going to cost me 3 tools, 3 wood, and 3 clay. And that lets me build the awesome factory. And even more important, I ended on the factory. So he's going to have to deal with that. So here, where's the factory? Oh, it's over there.
Do I have a factory?
It's over there in the thing. So let me show you the factory in the detail camera here, because it's really kind of an important tool. So the factory building, once it's built, notice it's worth 4 points, which is really nice. What it does is notice how it's got all 3 worker types, red, yellow, and green. Whichever type of worker is working it increases the production or the sustenance of, you choose production or sustenance buildings. That's like food buildings and clothing buildings. You choose which type it buffs, and then it gives +1 resource of that type to each building of that worker type. So for instance, if I put a farmer on it, all my farmer production buildings would get +1 production, or all my farmer substance buildings would get +1 substance production. So I'll take the factory, I'll go ahead and place it down here, and I'm going to have to work it if I want to use it. So I'm definitely going to need some more brick and probably another estate to get going. So, all right, that's my.
All right. So what I'm going to do is
Last three actions. No, these are your first three.
No,
I get
first
one.
three.
That's right. You didn't go first this time. Okay.
I'm thinking about going to the. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go to market first, and I'm gonna get 2 wood. So I'm gonna push out this food here. So I can't hold on to it.
Okay.
Because I'm fully stocked. So that's 1, 2.
Oh, he's at the diplomat.
Yep.
Which one would you like to build?
It's going to be the
Remember,
storage room.
The storage one? Okay. So he's going to rebuild the storage keeper colony just like I did, which lets him have the upgraded warehouse, and it also lets him have the flipped over storage buildings.
Right.
So even though he's only got 2 storage buildings right now, any extra built storage buildings he builds will automatically be the upgraded version of them, the flipped over version of them. So great.
All right. And that was action
number
2.
Mm-hmm.
And action 3 is going to be this.
Oh, 2 tools and play another card.
And I'm going to play guest room. I'm going to show you.
Take your tools. Oh, that's nice.
So this is all that's happened so far on here. Is I'm going to move that. As I was able to move from the clay pit all the way from marketplace, diplomat, change everything over, and now I'm at the librarian. No, that's not.
No, it's the developer, and
developer.
you get your 2 tools,
Right here.
and you can play one of your cards.
All right, and I'm playing this card right here, which gives me
Guest room.
basically essentially what I just spent.
It immediately gives him two wood and 2 clay. It's not a bad improvement,
Yeah.
and it's gone because it has no points on it, so
That's
it's
right.
out of the game.
And that was my
And
turn.
that's it. All right, so here we are. We're at the final 3 actions for both of us. I know what I got to do. I'm going to be using my Lord's Colony again. So I'm going to go here to this 2 wood space, except instead of taking 2 wood because of my Lord's Colony, I'm going to take one clay instead. I'm going to move this clay into my storage so I can use it. I'm going to go to the brick, whatever the thing that makes bricks. It's going to cost me 2 clay and a wood to make a single brick. And then for my final action, before I move, I'm going to go ahead and move over at least 2 wood. I might as well move over all of the wood. Okay, great. And we're going to go now back to the estate building. So I'm going to pay a tool. Oh, I'm getting really low on tools. It's going to cost me 3 wood, 1, 2, 3 wood, and 1 brick. And that's going to let me flip over one of my farms into an estate, which gives me 2 more workers, which is going to let me do some cool things in my factory. And that's the end of my round.
All right, so with my round, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move into the marketplace right there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click, actually, before I move into there,
Okay.
what I want to do is move the clay over.
Okay, move the clay over. Got it.
All right, then go into here, take the wood, and I'm going to go 1 and 1.
So he's adding wood from the market action. Okay,
Right.
that's his first action. What's next?
All right, next action I'm going to do is, actually, I don't know if I want to do that. I miscalculated.
So and as he decides his turn, I'm going to tell you more a little about the game. So we're nearing the end of the first era. Now we're gonna show you some sample scoring of how you would actually score the end of the first era whenever we do that. So you can see if we wanted to end the game here, we would have had to have decided ahead of time that this is when we're ending the game. That way we could play towards that, work towards getting those points, and then count up our points in the end. But we'll still show you sample scoring the end of era 1. Then we'll take a short break so we can get some water. And we'll then jump right into Era 2, where frankly, the game gets a little more complicated. But ultimately, you've now seen the very basic elements of the Colonist. And go ahead, Mark.
All right, so essentially I'm just going to go to clay pit, trade out 2 clay for 2 clay.
Okay. Yes, you can do that. You can always take 0
Actually,
resources.
no, I'm going to take 2 clay.
2 clay in exchange of the wood. Okay.
Of the wood, and then go into the factory.
And he's going to go build a factory. So he just got rid of a bunch of resources so he could build a factory. Or you can build multiple factories if you have enough resources. No, you don't.
No.
You don't. Okay, great. He's going to build a factory.
Actually, I can build 2.
Well, no, remember, everything you have has to be...
Yeah, 1, 2. Oh, you're right.
So even though he has the resources in his storage to be able to build the factory, to build 2 factories, on his tableau, because they're not specifically in his storage area. He can't use them in a single play, and that is exactly what this game is storage management. So lots of fun.
Alright, so before my turn is fully over, I moved everything out.
Okay.
Alright.
Did you get your factory?
Yeah,
Okay,
so
you
I
got the
got
factory. Great.
And
And that's it for both of us, right?
Yep.
All right, great. So we're gonna do end of year again. So end of year says new starting player backable. It's not. We put new places out, but there are new places to put out. There are no new places to put out, so we don't put anything out. We can redistribute our workers. Well, I don't need mine in storage right now, so I'm going to pull some of them back. And now I'm going to put one into my factory as well. And now we produce, right?
Yep, we produce.
So watch this. So the factory, I'm going to have it produce all of my production buildings. Now I want to show you something. It has a very, very small symbol. Looks like a couple of tools here across each other that says it's +1 for each of those types of buildings. You'll notice the Hollow and most of the Foresters' houses have those symbols as well. So they're all going to benefit from this +1. So my Hollow, instead of producing 1, produces 2. My Foresters, instead of producing 2, produce 3. So I am rolling in the resources here at the end of age 1. Great. So now they've produced. Now we're going to go to the end of the era card. So it says end of an era, scoring if this is the last era. So let's talk about scoring really quick, and then we'll take a brief break. And we're going to focus on my match show scoring. So first of all, I get 3 tools.
Nope.
Okay,
So
great. All right, great. I have no coins in here. This is where I would store my coins if I had them. So I have no points from coins. The next thing I would count is points from buildings. So we have each estate is worth 4 points. The farm is worth 1. Each of my embassies at level, there are age 1 embassies. They can eventually go to age 2 embassies in age 2. They're worth 2 points each. My storage buildings are 2 points each. My factory is 4. These buildings are 2, 2, and 2. Okay, these production buildings are 2, 2, and 2. So I would add up all the points from the buildings. The last thing I would do is add points for employed workers. So what I want to do if it were the end of the game is employ all of my workers. Resources are worth nothing. They're not even tie-break in this game. What it is now is it comes down to employed workers. Each farmer, and this is in the rule book, is worth 2 points each for each farmer at the end of the game. So I would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 farmers are employed. So 7 farmers score 2 points each for 14 points. If I had extra farmers up here sitting at home, well, they don't score many points. They're not worth anything for me as far as points at the end of the game. And that is how the game scores. So it's relatively simple scoring, relatively simple scoring for the game. For such a complex game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's take a break.
Alright, so that is era 1. We're going to take a quick break because I definitely need coffee and water. Because I need to perk up because I am really down at this moment in this game. So we'll be right back. And here's a little bit more about ourselves. So I hope you enjoy.
Hope you enjoy it. Okay, great. Good. Let's go with. Oh, wait, this is it. I'm going to go ahead and get out the Era 2 stuff.
It's in my mind!
Era 1
Can't get it out of my head.
Wait, what?
What's the entire thing? That's pepperoni.
Not even funny.
That's pepperoni pizza.
What
Couple
elements
times, but
turn me
only
off
be-
the fastest?
yeah, just be
What
careful.
Elements turn me off the fastest.
Pretty early on.
Dice chunking games. You throw a dice chunking game at me, I'll chunk the dice at you.
So it's kind of sad because a lot of people can look at a board game and kind of get an idea if they're
No,
going
that's
to like
fine,
it
yeah.
or not. And I've mentioned before
pretty good
that,
if you can do that.
I don't like games
general.
that don't have a lot of pieces, but there's actually something that's way worse than that. And unfortunately, I don't usually find out until I'm in the middle of the game, and it's bad
It's
player
amazing that
scaling.
this is
And
all
what I
this
mean by that
wide.
is,
I
the
know,
more
I'm talking
players
to
you add to a
this.
game, if it exponentially increases the length of the game, I hate it. I will never play it again. I will walk away and wish I hadn't sat down to that game that you promised was 90 minutes, and it's been 3 hours now because you decided to add one more friend walked over and wanted to play. I had no idea that going from 4 to 5 players was going to add 2 hours of length.
Only when it comes to movement. If it's
Alright,
incorporated
Eric,
with other mechanics, then that's fine. Like Rice Nobility. Like what Bryn said, for me, Rice Nobility, as long as it has a meaning to it, I like it. My biggest drawback to dice choking games, or dice rolling games, if you want to be real technical about it, is the fact that the randomness. If it's too random, it requires too much, takes up too much probability of success of certain things and aspects and strategy, then no.
So
I'm going to stay away from that.
Final
games
bit
that do
where it
this
shows the trivia,
for me,
does it
Munchkin
stay on
was
the
one of
screen
the
till you
worst,
turn it
right?
off,
I
or
mean,
does it immediately switch back
people love
on
Munchkin
live?
pretty light, right? But when you have 6 people, I don't think you
that's
should
good.
play with
Okay,
people.
that's
We
great.
do.
I'm
Okay, when you
And
have
can
6
switch it
people
off
on the
manually
table,
anytime, right?
and any one of them can stop the game and prevent someone from winning, it
And
just
we
goes
use
on
additional
forever. So the
cameras
game
so
that
we
was
can
fine
see
with
these
4,
awesome boards
with
on
6
top.
takes forever.
Okay, great. So
But there's other games that are better games than that, like
new era.
most recently, I played Unfair.
so they can see how
And
new era comes in.
Unfair's
Can I get a...
event system,
Um,
because you can interact with each other in the
Yeah.
event phase, and it can potentially go around and around and around until everybody passes. And even if you pass, you can play again. You know what I mean? It's like takes forever. So it's like 5 players makes the game way longer. So so for me, 100%, the biggest turn off for me for a game is a game with bad player scaling.
I paid you the fee.
Even if I'm enjoying the game,
You were right in
if
my way.
if it feels like you
I
add that
paid
extra
you.
player and it adds an
You were
extra
right in my
hour,
way.
I was like,
it's usually
no,
not worth it.
I know where you're
especially
going.
if the game doesn't take that element,
That's
especially if the game state resets every time someone takes an action, then it's even longer because you got to reconsider everything you've been thinking you were going to do before your turn, and now you've got to think about it again. I'm looking at you, Rise of Nobility. All right, so
we've been going for it now.
Yeah, but
50 minutes.
yeah.
This is being answered. Well, we're back.
Thanks for the little break. Got some water. Got some coffee.
Yes.
Right.
All right. So there's been a challenge with this one, and with unlike most games, it's really easy to set up multiple cameras because everything's really big.
Yeah.
For multiple people
Big game boards. Yeah.
to see. But unfortunately, with this game,
Everything's so tiny.
Yes.
I mean, everything's so small. So it was a real challenge saying, are we really going to do Colonist? I mean, how are the cameras going to work? So we really hope that you guys at home watching us are able to follow what we're doing. But,
Right, because it's hard to get this really detailed as much as we want it to be.
Yeah, especially if we were to go to eras 3 and 4 with how big the map would be. But,
Right. So right now we're going to go into Era 2.
Yep.
Brent is going to take over from here and explain what changes.
All right, so we go back to our course of play card, which is right here, which is our handleable card, and it actually says start of an era. Well, we're starting era 2 now. So it says turn a new era card face up and carry it out. Well, I'm going to move this over. This is the era 2 card. Now I know this is tiny text again, okay? But here we go. It says add the third market. So era 2 comes with a market, and first player, which is still me, gets to place this market. So looking at where things are, I really wouldn't mind the market being near. Probably should have decided this ahead of time. Having it over here near the pub probably isn't a bad place. So I'm going to slide that market in right there. There's not that many markets in the game, so we're kind of just determining kind of where we can teleport right now. So that market's in the game. The next thing it says to do is it has a share. By the way, the market is different than the other tiles. It only has to share one edge with the existing board. I chose to put it there so I've got some maximum flexibility. But yeah, that's where the market can go. So and it has to be at least 2 places away from other markets. Well, we can count 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's about as close as it's allowed to be for this game. So the next thing it says shuffle all the market cards. Well, I did shuffle the market. Remember these? Well, they're different for H2. Same thing for the improvement cards. We shuffled both of those. That's what it says to do next. And then shuffle the places. So now we've got a whole new set of places, H2 places, which have their own little cool effects on them. Sorry. Which we'll get into as we go. And remember, there's 4 eras in this game, and each era has its own set of buildings that are unique. Not all of them are unique, but most of them are unique to the era. So you're only going to see like half the buildings in the whole game. Right. So this game is truly huge. There's half a box of components for ages 3 and 4 sitting in the box over there in the corner that we're not using right now for this game. So, okay. So I want to show one more thing on this card, on the era card. The era card shows the maximum diplomacy level. remember the embassy, the individual embassies. I was able to build a Lord's Embassy and a Storekeeper Embassy last era. Now those can be level 2. So remember, there's a couple more embassies we didn't go over. I'm going to show you at least one of them. It's called the Trader Colony. Okay, so I'm going to put that right there. Great. So this round, because we're on era 2, both Diplomacy 1 and Diplomacy 2 are both available. So if I went back to the Diplomat action space, I could build both of these in one turn so long as I could pay both the costs. So ultimately now I can get all the way up to level 2 buildings. And the Trader Colony allows me to make even trades whenever I want to. So I can always trade goods for different kinds of goods, whatever. And then of course down here the trades get better. If we build one of those, I'll get into the specifics of it. There's a ton of these little things. So I'll move this out of the way, and we'll go to the last part of this Era 2 card, and that's the new fee. So the fee should look familiar. It costs either 1 tool or 1 food, but now it costs 2 building resources. So if I want to take a space that Marco's on, I'll have to pay him one of these 2 things and 2 resources, which can get pretty expensive, and actually as the game goes along, it gets more and more expensive. So that's Era 2. It's done. We're going to put this one away. We don't really need any more except the fee, and we do a new start of year. Turn a market card face up. Here we go, new market card. We're looking at it for the first time. They get a little better. However, notice something. All the rates at which you collect money go down. So what this means is that now it costs more resources to get less money, essentially. Also now, but the resources you gain from going to the market are higher, and we have access to better buildings. Like this is, you can build one, notice the little ×1 thing, estate by going there, which is great. And that's all we've been building up to this point is one at a time. So that's great. So anyway, so now we've got the estate, this market card in the game. So I'll put this here. Next and finally, we go ahead and place 3 new places face up. So I'm going to put the 3 new places right here next to it. They need to move over a bit so you can see them. Let's move that out of the frame. 1, 2, and 3. And essentially, we got a better brick maker. We've got the ability to make iron, which requires a laborer. Ooh, that's cool. And then we've got the ability to make apartments out of our flats. So that's basically the upgraded version of our laborer housing. So, okay, great. So I'm going to mention to Marco, since he hasn't had as much experience playing this game yet as I do, the iron mine, while it employs a laborer and therefore is worth a lot of points,
Right.
There's nothing to do with iron, if I remember right, in H2. It's all H3.
Okay.
So it's great for employing laborers to gain points. Remember, there are 6 points at the end of each game. We're going to end at the end of Era 2. But just understand there's not a lot you can do with iron in H2. So
okay.
It's nice that came up really early, but, for what it's worth. Okay, great. So,
all right, so we ready? I think you begin it.
I begin it, all right. So I see what's coming up. I see which buildings are out there. I've got access to my factory. I really wouldn't mind getting another embassy out. The embassy's going to need, I'm going to definitely need some more resources though. So I want to jump up in the, looks like the, let's see here. I wouldn't mind having the Trader Colony, which is going to cost quite a bit. I definitely need more tools. So good thing about Marco is he's been getting tools throughout the game because he's been going to the developer over and over again. I have not done that.
By the way, I still need my storehouse.
Oh, the storekeeper?
Yeah.
Embassy? All right, there you go. Great.
Trying to shaft me.
I'm not trying to. That's how it worked out. All right, well, I'm going to need a lot more people. So I've got resources. I need to be able to get some bricks. So let's go ahead and take these 2 clay right here into my area. We're going to immediately go ahead and make a brick out of them. So it's going to cost me 1 and 2 for a brick. And I'm going to take advantage of, I'm going to go ahead and take these 3 wood here, 1, 2, 3 wood to jump to this market for my second action. And I'm going to use the market ability for a builder, so to build a farm to an estate because I need more farmers. So here's one. I'll need to have all 3 wood, 1, 2, 3, and the 1 brick, and 1 tool. And that allows me to flip this last farm over here, which gives me 2 more farmers. And now towards the other. So let's go ahead and I need more tools. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to the library, which is going to get me a coin. And now that we're in H2, I'm going to be looking at some of these cool improvements. So I'm going to draw 2 improvements, and that's the end of my round.
All right. So for me, what I'm going to do is I am going to move over here to the wood guy.
Get
2 wood.
He's taking 2 wood.
Alright. I am going to, before I move over a clay, move here to the clay burner, and here's 2 and 2 to get 2 brick. So 1 and 1.
Great.
So
2 brick and doing something big, huh?
maybe.
Oh my gosh, this card's really good. I'll show this in a
Alright.
moment. Okay.
1, 2, 3. And last thing I'm gonna do is go to the estates.
Yep.
So I'm gonna build 2 estates.
He's going to build 2 estates because he now has the space in his inventory now in his storage area to actually build 2 estates at once. So he's going all in for that.
All right. So it was
Great.
2 tools, 2 brick, and 6 forest to
Okay.
do that.
Wow.
All right. So that moves these 2 over, and I get 4 peeps.
All right. Great. Well,
4 peeps.
4
peeps.
Oh my gosh, 4 workers, 4
That's right.
farmers. All right. Is that all of your houses?
That is all my houses.
Okay, great. All right. So we move on to We move on to the next. We move on to the end of the year, and I get 3 more actions. Now I got some really cool cards here. I'm going to show you what they are. Let's put that one there first. It's a clay warehouse. It's basically an extra warehouse space that I can specifically store clay. Yay for more storage. Now that's warehouse space, not storage. That's an actual word in this game. Storage space. So I can't use it to build with, but I can store extra resources. That's kind of neat. It is worth 2 points. But here's the real gem. Workshop. Remember I mentioned I needed tools? Well, this here is a building that actually produces an extra tool every turn. However, it's fairly expensive. I need a lot of clay to be able to build it, and I actually need planks. So I'm going to work on getting the planks, knowing that I can probably build the clay. So to get that, so for my round, I'm going to be focusing on getting clay for this turn and turning on the planks. So if we're looking at the board here, there's a couple plank spaces. This space over here will give me planks. Will let me convert to planks. Is there another spot? Oh, and then over here it lets me convert to planks. Great. I've got plenty of wood to convert, and for this card, I'm going to specifically need 2 planks, which means I need 4 wood. I've got 3. So we're going to move to this space. I'm going to take my cool Lord ability to go ahead and just take a single wood instead. I'm going to move this 3 wood here into my storage, move here, and turn these 4 wood into 2 planks. Will you hand me 2 planks? The first time we've seen planks this game.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Do you not have?
Oh, I have. I'm sorry. I have them over here.
Look at this.
I know, really.
He's trying to distract me,
2
so I'm like,
planks. Yeah.
wait.
I'm
what's my plan?
I'm stealing your stuff, right? Okay, that was my second action. Now I've got to be able to get back to the developer once I'm able to get the clay. So I need 1 more clay to be able to build this card. So we're going to use my Lord's ability again. Boy, that's coming in handy to pick up exactly 1 clay. Setting up for the next round. So that's it for me.
All right. So what I'm going to do is do something.
So even though I'll finish next round I'll finish this awesome workshop. It's a production building, so I actually don't get credit for it till the end of next year. That's how it works. But I'm ready for it next time. So.
All right. So what I'm going to do is move here. Make sure I have everything out of my production areas.
Okay.
Because I'm going.
Oh, did you move to the market?
Yeah.
Okay, you teleport to the market. And
So
what did you
2
do?
food.
What did you do with the market? He was taking 2 food and the 1 wood. Okay, ready? That's first action. What's next?
All right. So I'm then gonna go here.
Oh, he's
Now,
going to take
1,
2
2,
more
3,
cards.
4. I can draw
He has
2
4
more.
cards, so he can draw 2 more, and he gets a coin as well.
Yep. Oh.
Okay, he just drew 3 there. So while he looks at those, and he can make a decision here as we go along because
Right.
he's got cards to look at now.
And so that
One more.
is 1, 2, and 3.
All right, so he went to exactly where I'm going next time.
Yep.
To take 2 tools, and it says 2 tools and play a card. You don't have, since you can take the tools, you don't have to play the card.
All right. So what I'm going
to
to play is to show you guys is this card right here. It's the building contract. It tells me with 1 food build.
No, you can do it twice.
Yeah, 1 for 1.
Yeah, you
For
can
farms.
literally build 2 farms right now for 2 wood. And you've got 1 wood. Where's the other wood at?
I don't have
Yeah,
that.
anywhere. Okay, but you can do one of them. Okay.
So
great.
I need a farmer.
Okay, farmer. Well, a farm and a farmer, right?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, good. Yeah, I'm gonna need some more farms soon. So while he's go ahead, finish
That's
everything, and then okay. So I'm gonna take a moment to explain something. If we can look at my tableau for just a minute, you will notice on the tableau that there's only so many spaces, and there's these shaded spaces around the side. Now, these shaded spaces don't become available till Era 3, and only when you build a specific building. I don't remember what it's called, but there's a building that opens these up. Eventually, you run out of spaces in your tableau. When you do, you have to replace buildings, like actually destroy them and put new ones in place. You'll notice that on the playmat it says raising buildings. Basically, when you raise a building, it means you get rid of it and replace it with something new. The new building costs 2 extra tools. Basically, you're paying 2 tools to raise the old building, and then when you build the next building, it replaces it on the space. Now, right now, neither one of us have space problems at the moment, but that's going to change probably pretty quickly here. So, okay, great. So let's go through Let's go through our course of play card again, and new starting player is me. So I'm going to put out the 3 spaces. Well, I'm looking where I'm at, and boy, do we need another area to be able to turn to be able to make brick. So I'm gonna put that near here. So now we've got the brick and the conversion to planks near each other. The apartment I'm gonna go ahead and put near the flat because that actually really helps out in the game because flats turn into apartments. And then finally, for the iron mine, boy, that's expensive. Let's go ahead and place that over here. We're going to need brick before we go there, so I'm going to put it over here to get there. So can we see all the things I just put out there? No, you can't really see the iron mine. You know what? Just for the sake of the game, I'm going to move it up here because it doesn't really matter to me that much where it's at. So it's a little bit easier to see. Okay, great. So that takes care of that. Now we get to redistribute our workers. So I've got plenty of workers here. I'm not going to need to distribute.
As well.
So now we produce.
All right,
okay.
so let's show producing.
Okay, production. I'm going to get 2 clay instead of 1 because of my factory.
All right, I'm going to get
3 wood here and 3 more wood here.
And 2.
Okay. And then now I'll get 3 tools. I'll take 3 of the singles. Whoops, that was an accident.
Well, let's take 3.
3 tools. And there we go. Great. So that's it for that.
Now let's
market card goes away. We go on to the second year. Market card goes away. New market card is going to be head official again is what you can take. This one gives you a wood and clay. Boy, that looks like an age 1 one, but it's age 2. So it's just not that great of a market card, but there it is.
Right.
So and then now finally we get to see 3 new places. So the 3 new places we're going to see are a clay pocket, which is kind of like the delve, 2 more clay, an institute, which I'll get to in just a second, and then finally a theater. So the theater is the upgraded version of the pub. If you have a laborer on it, you can produce 2 coins per turn, which is really nice. The institute has to do with the library. It has to do with how you control your cards. If one of us wants to build it, I'll go into the details. Like I said, there's a million buildings in this game. So, all right. So we're beginning of year 2 now. And I'm going to take actions. Now, I really, really wanted to build this awesome card. Marco is in my way. It's okay. I'm going to go ahead and take it on the chin with this one. So I need to get the resources ready to do. So I'm going to move in both clay because I'm going to need all 3. I've already got the 2 planks. I've already got the tools ready. Marco, I'm going to be giving one of my foods to be able to move around. And
I don't want your food.
That's it.
Can I decline your food?
I need to bring, and because it's age 2, remember, I have to pay 2 building resources, so I'm going to pull over at least 2 more wood, because I don't want to give him my good stuff. I got plenty of wood. Okay, great. So here we go. We're going to move over here to this. Now, before I can take the action, I got to pay the fee. So here, Marco, here's your food and your 2 wood. Enjoy that. Okay, great. And so now I get to take 2 tools for going there. Will you hand me a 3, please?
Sure.
3. So I'll take a 3 for the 2 tools I get, and I'll put 1 back real quick. Great. Now let's build this card. Okay, it's going to cost me the 3 clay. 1, 2, 3 clay. 2 tools. 3 clay, and the 2 planks. And now I'm going to put this into my tableau. I'm now making an extra tool every round. I'm just going to put it over here on the side. We'll remember it as we go along. Actually, I think you can even put it down below, but you can't really count points. So I'll put it over here on the side. I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh, you can. Cool. So I've got the workshop now. Now I'm making more tools. So that was action 1. Now I got a problem. I need more clay in order to do more of what I want to do, and there's just not enough clay in this game. So I really could use another hollow.
Man, I wish I had that issue. So much clay.
Are you rolling the clay? All right. So so for
Rolling
me,
the clay.
I'm going to go ahead and pop over to this market here, which is going to get me, hey, a clay and a wood. Yay. And in order to get the hollow, I need 3 clay. So I'm going to go here to this clay delve and take 2 more clay. So I'm getting myself set up next turn. That's the end of my round for this to build the next clay delve. So.
All right, so we got that. All right, now it's my turn. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to the far bottom market. And I'm going to take a wood and a clay.
Mm-hmm.
So the wood's going over here. The clay is going to push out one of these foods because I don't freaking need them.
Yeah,
Actually, wait, hold on. I should have.
Oh, yeah. When he built his
warehouse.
storekeeper colony, he got a bit of warehouse. We just forgot to put it on the board.
Yes.
So flip over that one. Better warehouse coming in.
And I could have moved all
And
this.
there now, the food can actually go down into his warehouse where he doesn't really need it right now.
Right.
Now, remember how we talked about feeding people? You can, at the end of the round, you can feed people, or at any time, you can feed people from your warehouse. That's fine. But during when you're building, you've got to have it in your storage.
Right.
Okay.
And now, before I move over there, let's see, I'm going to move over 1. So, as you can see, there's 4 and 4.
Uh-huh.
Moving here.
Oh, he's
And
making
4
4 brick. Holy cow. That's a lot of brick.
So, 1, 2.
That's more brick than we have. So, you've got it over there.
Yep.
And that was your second action, right?
That was my second action.
Great. So 4 brick. He's got 4 brick. A ton of tools.
Yep. What am I
Okay.
going to prep for next?
I don't know, but
And now what I need is, let's see, I kind of need a joiner.
well, you've got a little bit of wood left. So if you want to move it over,
Stop talking about my wood, please. It's a private matter. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to
shut
come
me up.
I'm going to come up here.
He's going
and
to
get
teleport over to the market and take a wood and a clay as well.
Yep.
Right, great. So now we're at 2. So now I'm going to try to get 2 clay delves at once, and for that I'm going to need 6 of the clay. So I'm going to use my really cool ability here, Lord's ability, just to take clay. Boy, that's really great. I'm going to go ahead and pop over here to get 2 more clay. So there's a spot. There's the third one. And there's one there, and then finally we're going to go here and build the hollow. It's going to take me. It's going to take 4 tools. So I've got 3 here. I've got 6 here. I've got 2 tools back. It's going to cost 6 total clay, which I have the storage for. So here's all of my clay to build 2. Please hand me 2 hollows, please. Now who's rolling in the clay? Huh? Yeah. I'm just kidding.
You're finally joining in.
I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put those there. And I'm going to go ahead and move over some resources because I know here's 1, 2, 3, and 1 because I know I'm going to be producing in just a moment here. So, okay, that's it for my round. What are you doing?
All right. So what I'm going to do next is,
You got to get in the embassies, man.
yeah, I do. With all this brick, what am I going to do? I need to do something important.
I think this is out of the game. Yeah. Oops. Oh no, I took that earlier. That's right. All right. So yeah, you've got a lot of brick. Now you know that there is the theater coming soon, right?
I do.
That's a pretty good little building. So so you need some more. Looks like you need more planks to be able to build the theater. So
Yeah, but I'm not feeling it.
don't you
So I'm gonna go to librarian first.
take a coin and take 2 cards?
Nope,
again?
just 1 card because I'm
one
at
card.
6.
Oh, how many cards you at?
2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 now.
Okay, so he went up to. He can only take 1 because it moved
Right.
to 6.
And now I'm gonna go here.
All right, 2 more tools.
2 more tools.
Now, what's funny, guys, is that normally tools are a very precious, rare resource, hard to get. In fact, actually, part of what happens in Third Age is you get an engine to start building tools for yourself because everything's so expensive. He's not going to have that problem.
Yeah,
so.
I have 16 tools currently, and now I'm
I
going
have
to
2.
build this counselor's chamber.
Okay.
I'm going to show you guys this. What's cool about
What does
this
it do?
this card is whenever I hit the marketplace, instead of doing the marketplace actions, I get to choose and swap 2 adjacent places.
Really?
Yes.
You can swap 2 adjacent unoccupied places. So that means, literally, he can take 2 adjacent to the market, right?
Yep.
He can take 2 places adjacent to the market and flip them around. I didn't even know that was in the game. And it's worth 2 points.
Actually, is it to the market? market though?
Well, it
just says
oh,
swap
two
to
adjacent. Oh, you're right. Two adjacent anywhere in the game.
So he could be going towards somewhere, and I could swap it away from him.
That's a great troll card. Okay, great. Are you playing it?
Yes.
All right.
I
So it costs
paid
him
for it.
cost him a brick, and it costs him
And
a tool.
yep.
And now he gets to be a tool.
Yes.
Where's my rim shot? Okay, right.
But
All right. So into the year,
that's
huh?
no, that was action one.
What?
Yeah, because it was that,
Okay.
and I have one more. Is there anything?
Well, you drew a card. Then you
Yep.
played. Yeah.
So I have
you
one
drew
more.
and played. So you have one more action. Yeah.
What's out there for?
The diplomat.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Here,
Storage
take
keeper.
a look. Storage keeper. Oh gosh, yeah. You have to have a. So the second level, you have to have a tool, you have to have a plank, and you have to have a brick. So you don't have a
okay.
plank yet. Has that plank problem again?
Okay, let me see these real
But
quick.
yeah, he's gonna take a look at the embassies because he has enough resources, I think, to build. Yeah, he can build one of the level 1 embassies, and one of the best ones in the game we haven't seen yet is called the Industrialist Colony. So the Industrialist Colony actually gives you more warehouse space, but more importantly, in each production phase, you can convert resources to their better versions. So you can convert in your production phase as you're making goods. You can convert them from wood to planks or from clay to brick. So for him, that's a no-brainer. Like
Right.
that's exactly what he's going, and that's what he's
So-
likely going to build right now once he moves the resources over. So you're going to need 3 wood and 2 clay.
Oh, I can't move the clay.
You sure can. There's 3 spaces there.
Oh, wait, you're right.
Yep.
So
All right, great.
that is exactly what I'm doing.
All right, great. So he's going to build the Industrialist Colony, Industrialist Embassy.
Yep. 1, 2,
So
1, 2, 3.
I'm going to show you the Industrialist Embassy close up here. Can we still see this camera?
Yep. Back up.
Okay, so here's the deal with it. This is the only embassy you've seen so far where it actually has a worker. Now notice it looks just like the factory. You can put a worker of any type you want on it. Whichever worker you put on it, it provides +1 production only. It doesn't work for sustenance, but it works for production. So all buildings of that type. So he's essentially got another factory.
Yep.
So he's going to be producing a ton of stuff. Plus, and that's in addition to the other benefits of being able to convert resources into better resources and getting the extra storage. So you go ahead and take that, and you need a new storage building. Actually, what you need is one of the level 1s. I'm going to give you my level 1. Will you hand me a 2? They're all flip-sided, so it doesn't really matter what we're using as long as we have the right amount showing. So he's now got both of his warehouse spaces used up,
Right.
and has 4 or 5 total warehouse spaces because of that. Okay, and did you build the colony? You build the embassy?
Yep.
And that was it for you, right?
Yep.
All right, so we're at the end of age 2,
All right.
and at age 2, the end of year 2,
3.
and I'm still first player, so I get to place things. Well, I know I'm going to be needing to make brick very soon. It's way over there. So I'm going to put this theater up here. Now I am getting into an area where you can't see a little bit. The Institute, I don't care about the Institute. I'm going to actually shove it up here because I don't care about it. And why not have a little more clay to go into the game? So let's put clay pocket right. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move the clay pocket here because I got plans. Nope, those aren't good plans. There we go. I'll move it right there. Okay. So we're good with that.
Yep.
So places are out. We can now move our guys around. I'm going to go ahead and work my other 2 hollows. So now I'm producing lots of stuff, and I'm going to produce. So here we go, because the factory is going to let me produce 2 clay per hollow.
Oh, just 2?
Well, okay, I know he's got the really cool combo. Will you hand me one more clay, please?
Mhm.
Great. So there's the 2 clay per hollow, and then I'll get 1, 2, 3 wood here, and 3 wood here. Great. All right, so that's all my production. Holding on, man, got a lot of resources here. I need to be able to convert them. Okay, so that's the end of age 2. So let's start not age 2. Sorry, I keep saying age. I mean year. So year 2 is over with. Let's go ahead and do the next thing, and that's going to be a new market card at the beginning of year 3. So new market card. Can we see the close-up stuff here?
Yep.
New market card allows us to, very cool, you can build a factory with it. You can also get a plank, which is great, right?
Right.
You can also convert food and clay into food. So, and here's the next 3 places coming into the game. We've got an ore pit, which is the first thing we've seen, which allows us to actually pick up iron ore. We've got a storage shed turning into a storage house. So this is the first time we've seen a storage shed upgrade. So there's actually better versions of these storage sheds for laborers, okay? So that's going to be really cool. And then finally, you can turn iron ore and wood into 2 tools. So now we're seeing the ability to turn iron ore into tools. So there is a value in iron ore in this age, but mostly just for tools. It's not as good as it will be later on. Great. So those are our places in play. That's our market. And I'm still first player, huh?
Yep.
Okay, great. Well, I really, really want to get a theater down, but to do that, I've got to start building laborers. Now, here's the trick. We're finally getting into the laborers, okay? I've got a card that lets me build a flat. Laborers require food. They also require a farm. Let me explain. You have to have a farm, first of all. Go to the flat space, and can I show here? So you have to have a farm, first of all. Get to the flat space with a farm. Convert the farm to the flat. Remember, we've been converting our farms so far to estates. Now we've got to convert farms to flats. That lets us put a laborer there instead of a farmer, which then allows us to use the laborers on buildings. So I've got a ton of resources. It's time to start making a bunch of farms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump from here to the market. The market's going to let me. I'm actually just going to pick up a plank. Why not, right? Get ready for that. Let's go ahead and jump on the farm. So the farm, in order to use the farm, I'm going to be using a lot of my wood here that I've got. I forgot to get my now 4 tools. Remember, you get tools, then I forgot production tools. I told you,
yes.
Always forget production of tools. All right. So I've got 6 tools for the whole round. I know I'm going to need a flat, so I'm going to go ahead and build 4 farms. Remember, you can build as many as you want. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4 wood. And here are 4 tools to go ahead and build 4 farms. So here we go, 4 farms on the map. 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is going to add 4 farmers into the game. So I'll go ahead and place those guys at home. And it doesn't matter where you put the guys as long as they have a space. You can't store 2 people on a single farm, but you can store, say, 2 people on one of these estates. Doesn't matter. Now here's the trick. When you convert a farm I'll show you when I do it. How about that? It's easier to do it than to show. So that was my second action, right? So my third action is to go ahead and move over here. I'll go ahead and replace 2 of the wood that's there, here and here. In preparation, next round I go ahead and start converting things into flats. So that is my action. I'm done.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is move here and get a joiner.
Okay, so he moved over to convert. Oh, where'd you go? Oh, you went to the market, right?
Right.
He got himself a plank. Go ahead.
I'm going to move these out.
Yep.
Here. Go here.
He went to the baker, so now he's going to be converting food into points. Boy, he's really racking up points right now.
Alright.
Okay. Great.
And then last, I'm going to go here.
Okay, so now he
I
went
need
to the
to get
hollow,
rid
and
of
now he's going to build
some of these.
another hollow. So
Right.
there's 3 and some tools.
And
Or
how
8,
many tools?
2 tools. Yep. 4 another hollow. Great. Okay.
Alright.
So we're going to move to second half H3. So now we see my plan come to fruition. So we're going to move from, oh boy, I do need joinery stuff. So here we go. I'm going to go to the joiner, which allows me to convert wood into food. So let me go into, what's it called? Planks. So I think 3 planks is probably enough. I actually need more than that. Wow. So I'll move over 2 more wood into here. So here we go. So now that I'm there, I'm going to go ahead and convert 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wood into, looks like, not 6 wood. I picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it is 6 wood into 3 planks. So 3 planks, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, 3 planks. Now we're going to go here to turn. That was my. Yeah, actually, I can't go there yet. I'm going to go there eventually. Let's go ahead and build the flats now. So I'm going to go ahead and build 2 flats with this stuff. So it cost me 2 tools, which is all I got left, right? And 2 planks. Now, well, here's what it does. I convert these farms into. Can they see my board here?
They will.
Okay. So it's going to convert these farms into these little flats here, right? In order to do that, the farmer has to be home. So if he was already assigned, I would not be able to make this conversion. The farmer has to be home already. And remember I mentioned, once you assign a person to a task, he's stuck there till the end of the year when you can reassign your workers. So, but because I have a farmer at home, I'm going to go and replace this farmer. I'm actually replacing 2 farmers, so I'll go ahead and take 2 of them off. These farms go away. go back in my little farmer bin here, and I get to place 2 flats and immediately get 2 laborers. Now, laborers at home don't have to be fed. They only have to be fed as soon as they are put on a space. And as you see, I have no food, but I think that was my 3rd action, wasn't it?
Yep.
So I went...
You went wood, joiner.
That's right. I went wood joiner, that's right. Or no, I ended on wood this time. Does anybody remember at home?
I can't back it up, so...
I can't think about it, so let me see here. I know I got the farms last time, right? And I bet I... Let's say I got the wood this time. I don't remember because I'm talking and teaching at the same time instead of playing out my turn. But I know that I'm going to be working towards getting that theater next time. So, okay, so that's good enough for me. I'm done for the round.
So,
okay.
What I'm going to do is go to the market, and I'm going to flip some things. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm going to flip some things.
Okay. I'm going to maneuver my resources into my space here.
I'm going to flip these 2, the estate and the grove.
Okay.
Because right now, it's easier to get wood, so there's no sense of
Oh yeah, okay.
going through the wood to get that. So that's action 1. Action 2 is to develop. And I'm going to develop the Lord. Actually, before I move there, I have to move things.
Yes. Yeah. Before you move it to an action, you've got to make sure you put the resources in the storage
there's 2
areas.
there, and there's 3.
Mm-hmm. That includes, remember, paying the fee. You've got to have the fee also in the storage to pay if you're going to go a space where somebody else is.
Right. So I'm going to go in here now.
Okay.
Now, the cool thing about this is, we haven't talked about it yet, is I'm going to show it up here.
Great.
Is, alright, you see how there's 2 costs? Since we're in era 2,
Yep.
and I have not built the Lord yet, I'm actually paying 1 and 2.
You can build both at the same time.
Exactly.
Yep. In fact, if he wanted to, he could build all 4 embassies if he wanted to, all the way to level 2 if he had the resources for it. He doesn't.
Right.
But to do this is going to cost him, looks like 2 tools, a plank, a brick, 2 clay, and 3 wood, which he has plenty of storage to do, so he's going to go ahead and do that.
So there's that.
Now he's got a really
plank,
good Lord colony.
That. Alright. So I need the Lord.
So he takes the Lord. He's going to flip it over to level 2 because level 2 is on the back side. It's worth more points. And the really cool thing it does now is that you don't have to pay the fee anymore. So if he ever wants to take a space that I'm at, he doesn't have to pay me anything for it. Also, he not only can get 1 food or 1 clay by going onto a space instead of taking the spaces action. He can instead get a plank, a brick, or even a food for going wherever he wants, which is just fantastic. So
that's what I did.
Great.
And we are in winter.
Was that the end of it?
No. I'm just wondering, are we at winter?
We're in winter, yeah.
Okay. So this next movement I'm going to do then is I'm going to first move the rest of this stuff out.
Okay.
Because I want to use it.
He's moving resources off his production building so he can produce from them again.
Exactly.
He's got plenty of storage to do so. Okay.
All right. And
what next? More cards?
No. You know what I'm going to do?
Markets.
Is because I need another storage shed.
Okay.
And the new one's coming out. So I'm going to go here. Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go here.
He's popping back to the market. You want to build a factory? Or take a plank?
Take a plank.
All right, taking a plank. Great. Okay, and that's it, right?
Actually, no. What I'm going to do is...
Not taking a plank. Instead, he's going to
do the Lord action.
He's going to do the Lord action. Oh, you cannot take the Lord action on a market space. It actually says it on the Lord embassy.
Oh, it does not apply to markets.
It does not apply to markets. It applies only
so
places that are not markets. So
I'm going to go there.
Okay.
Just get the...
And he took the plank.
Right.
All right. Then let's get to the end. I'm still a first player, so now we're going to put out the places. Boy, the ability to make more tools might be useful, especially in context of the ore pit. So let me just go ahead and put an ore pit over here, and the ability to make more tools over near it. So I've got all the tools in one area, and then, you know, this is the ability to make storage sheds from the storage houses. I'm going to put it near where I'm already at, so that I can turn my storage sheds into even bigger buildings and employ my awesome laborers. Okay, great. So that's that. Let's reassign our workers.
All right.
So mine are where I want them to be.
Same
Me
here.
too. Great. Let's go ahead and produce then. So I'm definitely going to need some more stuff. 1, 2, 3 wood. Are you back on my playmat?
Going
1,
now.
2, 3 playmat. 1, 2 here. 1, 2 here, and then I need 1 more of these, please. There's a ton of resources in the game. Little tiles. This game was really heavy when we got it to punch. There's just so many little pieces, and you see, I'm really starting to like fill up my board here with a ton of things. So, okay, great, and we're moving into era 4, and so at the end we pay sustenance. Do you have any laborers employed? Nope. Okay, so not yet. So it's coming close, but not quite there yet. So here goes the new market card to replace the old market card. It's a boring one again. You can get 2 wood. You can also do a clay burner. You can one time convert wood and clay to 1 brick. And you can convert iron ore to points, basically. So it's good. And here are the last 3 places to show. We've got the Grand Baker. Move this over. Grand Baker gives you more food and allows you to convert. And we're going to the detail camera here. It allows you to convert food into points, just like the other one. But it gives you more food for the space. There's the riverbank forest, which actually replaces one of the old riverbank groves. We actually take off one of the tiles and put that one in its place. And then now we also have another joiner, which allows you to convert wood into planks. All right, so beginning of year 4. Back to me. So let's commence with the actions I've been wanting to do, and that is, first of all, to go to the loam burner. Now, I need a lot of I'm going to need some, let's see here. Do I really want to go there first? I kind of need to. I need to because I would like to build a theater, but actually, no, what's more important than that? Building more building more storage. No, the storage. So I'm going to go here. I got to have some brick. So I'm going to go ahead and convert 2 wood and 2 clay into 2 bricks. So now I've got some bricks, and you know what? I'm going to do a little more to make another brick. Can I get another brick, please? Thank you so much. Great. So I've got some bricks now. I'm going to just put the 3 there. All right, so now we're going to jump over here to the... Oh, I forgot to make my 4 tools. Let me just go ahead and make 4 tools because that's going to matter right now. 4 tools so I can make up to 2 storage sheds. So here we go. This is exciting. It's going to cost me... I'm going to be upgrading my storage sheds. It's going to cost me to make 2 of them. 2 of the planks, 2 of the brick, and 4 tools. So there's all my tools. 2 planks, 2 bricks. Now here's what happens. Notice that I've got people employed, and we want to look right here. I've got people employed in these buildings. I'm going to put these here. Now, as long as I can immediately employ them with new workers, that's allowed. So I'm going to do them one at a time to show you what happens. So when I put this one here, first of all, I get to play it on the secondary side because I have the storekeeper colony, which makes it better. Remember, it always makes it 1 better. So I'm going to take this one. I'm going to move him out, put this here. It immediately transfers the goods. He has to go home. That's fine. And I would place him here. But I've got one huge problem. I have no food. Because I have no food, I can't actually assign him there. So what happens is I'm going to have to move these goods over to basically keep them when I lose this. So remember how you have to feed your workers as soon as you assign them. Well, remember, so far we're dealing with farmers, and they don't care. But the laborers need food if you're going to assign them to labor activities. So I don't have the food to do it. So as you see, I'm doing that there. So I'm going to go ahead and move this resource over to here and do the same thing here. I'm going to move this one out. It's going to become the new storage shed as well. He goes back home, and those are out of the game. So now becomes the process of I've got to get food. Now there is a building that makes food, and it's called the Hunter's Lodge, and it's in the middle of the board. I've got plenty of resources to build it. I'm going to go ahead and pop back over to the market space to be able to do that. And so the market space is going to allow me to, well, when I'm at the market space, I'm actually going to take advantage of the fact that I'm there to convert 2 clay and a wood into another brick. And that is the end of my round. So I'm setting myself up to build next turn a food production building, which I really need. Actually, you know what I need more than that? I need food more than that. So I'm going to have to change gears, guys. I'm going to actually jump to this market so I can immediately go to the baker next time and get some food so I can actually assign these awesome laborers. So that's my turn. Your turn.
All right.
Food matters? Wow. And as soon as it matters, it really matters. Okay, so
I forgot what I was doing over here because you took so long.
Yeah, it took a little bit of time. You know, when you're explaining everything you're doing, it's hard because I get lost sometimes. I'm talking about what I'm doing. I'm like, wait, what was I doing next? So
I'm pretty sure I had some
I
plans.
think that's why
in
you're
mind.
I think you're gonna crush me this game because of that.
I don't
we'll see.
think so.
We're getting close to the end though, so let's go through it. All right. So what do you got?
So I'm gonna move here.
He's gonna jump to another market space. He's gonna take some
All right.
wood, or
And
swap two places around.
swap.
Oh, he's
This and
swapping
this.
away my food. He's gonna make it more expensive for me to get there.
I mean, it's really not because you have the Lord. But
Yes, but it's another action space. It's one of my actions I have to
I was
use
just like,
now.
why not? Because I can.
What a jerk.
I'm gonna go here, and actually before I do that, I need to move this over.
It's great.
See, can I swap something out and then just get rid of something?
Whatever you want to do.
No, I'm really asking that.
Yeah,
Like if I want to get rid of this to put this in.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You can
Okay.
always discard resources from your storage to put new resources in between your actions. You just can't do
Okay.
it in the middle of an action.
Alright.
Okay.
The reason I asked is because I'm building a lot again.
Okay, he's building a lot again. Here we go.
Which one don't I have? I don't have the traders, so I'm gonna build that one.
He's gonna build the trader colony.
So there's 3.
3
There's
wood,
2, and then 1.
one brick, and one that, and then two of your mini tools.
Yes.
And now you can immediately jump up to the level 2 trader.
What's
Can you
that?
show them on the detail cam
Sure
exactly what the
can.
trader does?
So let's bring this up. I'm gonna put
Trader
this in front of
colony
everybody.
right in front. Okay, trader colony. So what it allows him to do is he can, on the beginning, he can convert whenever he receives these. Let's see here. Not when he produces, but when he receives from a space, he can take any of the other items that are there instead.
No, it's an alternate market action.
Alternate market. Oh, I'm so sorry. There's a different thing in the game called the Alchemist Guild, which
Right.
you convert. This one here, when he goes to the market, he can actually convert resources of the market, 1 for 1, however much he wants, and he also gains the ability now to convert planks for bricks, or he can even do vice versa, 2 for 1 or 1 for 2. So,
Right. And is
that's
there
great.
a limit to how many times? you
There
can do
is
it?
no limit
Alright.
as long as you have the resources to trade
So
around.
before I move now, I'm gonna move over 1, 2, 3.
Oh, it says exchange any number of one type of good for another.
Yep.
So while you look up that, I'm gonna actually look up the handy appendix. Are we seeing?
Handy appendix.
So the appendix is a god. Okay, it's got every single building in it. It's got every single colony. It just explains everything in the game. In fact, it's very helpful because it tells you when certain resources come into the game, so you can prepare for it. But it's actually got a section called Part 3, how do I get, and it lists all the resources. But I'm going to go specifically to the trader colony, which I should have looked up before we started the game.
Alright.
Bad me.
Because the reason is I'm immediately going to use it. And I have, right now I'm producing so much clay over here, you know, more than anyone could possibly need. And so I'm going to trade that for brick and the planks if I can.
Alright, it looks like you can do any amount you want.
All right.
Alright, great. So yeah, as many as he
Alright,
wants
so-
to convert.
I also need
It's 2
these.
for 1 though.
Yep, so here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And remember, it has to be the same good type into
Yep.
the other. Okay, great.
So it's going to be 2.
So essentially what he just did is converted a bunch of resources into a bunch of other resources.
Right, into.
Okay. Which is a pretty cool little effect. Boy, that's really cool.
All right.
Alright, great. So the trade colonies.
All right, and so that is my
That's it for you?
3 actions.
Alright, well, here we go. We're going to move over here to the end of year 4. And I got actions to take, so
Yeah.
I can't believe you've done this to me. I've got to... This is not going to be a great turn. You know what? I guess it's time to just get the buildings made to make food, so I can immediately assign people. So here we go. We're gonna go, but I need the food to assign them to start with. Oh, we'll do it. Here we go.
What he doesn't know, if he doesn't go again, I'm gonna keep on moving it.
Yeah, that would be bad. That would be bad. So let's go. Let's go to the pub. Not really, but I'm strongly considering it right now. I'm just kidding. All right, so let me move back for a second. It's going to cost me. I have no tools. That is hurting me a lot right now. Not having any tools.
But you do have the Lord.
I do have the Lord, but the Lord doesn't make tools right now. I'm making 4 per turn, but it's just not enough. Okay, well here we go. We're gonna go here. The Lord, I actually need wood this time, so I'm gonna take wood instead. And I'm gonna go ahead and go to the baker and pick up 2 food. Boy, that was a crazy play. I'm gonna take two food there. And for my last action is to jump back over here to the market, where I can, if I go ahead and move these over, once again convert. I can put 2 there. Oh, sorry, 1 there and 1 here, and convert 1, 2, 3 into another another brick, please.
Yep.
Into a brick. Oh boy, that was he really hosed me there, man.
Well, I'm just doing what I can do.
All right, so here we go. And for you, what are you doing?
All right, so right now it's like I have all 4 embassies.
You're swimming. You're swimming in resources. Yeah,
I am.
You're doing a great job.
But I don't have as many buildings, which buildings really get you a lot of good things.
It's time to transition to the better people.
It
like I
is.
tried to do, and then screwed myself over.
So the thing is, I don't want to eat away at these resources.
Okay.
So that's the issue I'm having.
You have 9 actions left in this entire game before
Yep.
we score, so you got decisions to make. It's fun. You want some more tools? Kidding.
I have plenty of tools. If only tools counted for something here.
I'm gonna be lucky to be able to assign my 2 laborers to do something, to work. That's the benefit I'm gonna be able to have. So, oh man. So I'm gonna explain some things while we're talking, and we can switch back to my to this while you're doing your thing. Cool. Okay, great. So on my play mat here, I'm going to show you something. So I could have moved, since I have the food, I could have moved this guy here. I would have had to pay him immediately food, right? And here's the problem. At the end of the year, which is about to come up, I have to feed him again, and I have no more food to do so. So I'm actually going to wait until the free phase where I can move them for free, and then I'll actually feed him in the sustenance phase. So, but boy, I am in quite a position right here. So let's see how it goes. And I'm waiting. Marco is making some final decisions on how he's going to go.
Well, I just moved some tiles.
Okay. Oh, we did a market action move tiles.
Yeah.
So that was your first,
Actually,
right?
no, I don't. I have new market actions.
Yeah, you do. You can trade goods for goods.
That's right.
So you see the game, it can create some AP because now, right now, we're only in era 2, okay? And he has so many options that he can do within a given turn, which is really exciting and really
I'm
fun.
going to do that.
But you can really just like
Get
lose
lost.
yourself, playing this game and trying to figure out what actions you're going to do, and it's a lot of fun. Great. And what you doing? Do a trade and get some more brick?
No, I'm thinking about just using the Lord.
Oh, Lord, of course. Why not? Just, you don't care what's on the thing. Just
I'm going to
use
get a wood, so I'm just replacing a wood for wood.
Okay.
And then go in here.
Okay.
And
Great.
I only have 1 farm, so I can only
He's
do...
going to convert the farm into a flat. I'll go ahead and hand you a flat. And laborer, I guess you'll make him an apartment in a moment here.
What is it?
Okay.
It's a joiner.
And I'll take back your farm and your worker. Great. And your farmer. I'll go back in the bin. So we've got these little bins right here with
Yep.
all the
Alright,
people.
so that was the end of my action.
All right, so here we go. Now, order of operations really matters. So starting player, which is me, is going to put down new things. So I've got a food tile, the baker. I know which direction I'm headed, although I can't get to it easily, but I'm going to go ahead and place this somewhere he can't, where he can't shift it out of the way very easily for me. And then the next one, the joiner, let's get it. There's already a joiner over there. There's already a joiner over there. We don't have a joiner over here yet, which might be, actually, let's put it down here. It might be helpful to get around. And then finally, we're going to replace one of the riverbank groves with the new one. I'm going to put it right there near both of us. So actually, I'm going to put it near me. It doesn't matter. That's fine right there. Okay, great. So the buildings are in. Now it's the free move phase. So for free moves, I'm going to move these guys here to the storage buildings. Okay, free moves. Now during the free move phase, before production, I can actually move my goods around. So actually, let me just make sure. You may redistribute your workers, which I just did. And now it's the sustenance phase. So I've got to pay them food. So I've got 2 food here. So the 2 food goes away. They're both fed during the sustenance phase. Before production, I'm going to move over all of my resources that I've been holding over here And right now, if you'll notice on my space, can they see my space? Yeah. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 spaces per laborer now, which is great. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops. And then 6, 7. So this is a little bit fiddly here. I'm knocking things over as I go around. It'd help if I use both hands. Okay, great. But as you see, I just was able to put down a ton of goods there. In fact, actually, what I might actually do is keep one laborer here for now, keep one of the foods instead, since I don't need him yet, and then just if I need him during my turn, I'll move him over and pay that food I have in reserve. Okay, great. So production phase.
All right.
Lots of goods time. So 2 on each for me.
This gets down.
2, 2,
3.
2.
2 and 3.
1, 2, 3. We're getting really close to the end of the game here, guys.
3.
I'm taking. I got some more over here.
I need some wood.
How much would you need?
1.
Just 1? All right, great. Here's 1 wood for you.
All right.
And don't forget my 4 tools.
And my
Essential
3.
tools. Okay. Okay, great. Beginning of round 5 now. New market card comes out. We get rid of the old one. And the new market card
All right.
is converts food and brick to points. You can build a hollow with it, a single hollow, and you can get either 2 wood or 2 clay. So here we go. Final 3 actions of the game. Now what I'm going to try to focus on is getting those food production buildings so I can sustain my laborers. Doesn't matter that much right now. We're getting close to the end, but I want to make sure my laborers all have jobs because they're worth the most points. So I'm here, so I'm going to go ahead and head directly to build hunting lodges. I need to build at least 2. I don't have the tools to build 2. So I have to do some craziness because it's going to cost 3 tools per hunting lodge. I'm sitting here on 4. There is a +2 play a card over there, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go here to take a victory point. Can you give me a coin, please?
Sure.
And I get to draw 2 cards. Hopefully one of these will work out. I'm going to go ahead and move now to the developer to gain 2, put the coin there to gain 2 tools. And I can play one of my cards. I'm still sitting on quite a few here. So I got this cool card called Social Services, which says at the game end, I get 1 more point for each unemployed farmer, which actually looks like I'm going to have some, so I'm going to play it. First of all, I've got to move some resources over. So just like I showed you before, I've got to move that guy there, pay the food to move him there. I'm going to go ahead and put in the... Actually, I didn't have to move him over at all, sorry. I've got plenty of resources to build this. It takes 1 tool. Ooh, 1 tool. It's worth it. Worth it. 1 tool. Okay, 3 wood. 1, 2, 3 wood. And 3 clay. I got plenty of clay here. 3 clay. Okay, and that's going to put that into play for me. So now I've got the... now I'm going to get extra gold from my unemployed farmers. And I need to... I needed a tool really bad. I'm looking here. I got 1 more. I actually have 4 actions left this game. I really want to end on the builder. So I can go here to get a clay, go here to get more tools. So it'd be 1, 2, 3 to pop back to the market, and 4, which would be my last action to do it there. So that's probably what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go here to ore pit. I'm going to take a single ore. There is ore in the game, so I'll take this. I'll put that there, and that's it for me. That's my 3. So
I'm going to move to a marketplace, and because of my ability is.
Oh yeah, he's going to switch those 2 cards.
So I don't have to go through the library to get it.
Okay, so that's 1.
I'm going to do that.
He can take 2 tools and play a card.
All right, I'm going to play.
Ooh. We'll move your things around if you need to.
No.
Okay.
I will do something a little bit different. I was hoping to build.
Oh yeah, you're stuck. Oh, that's what this game really is. It's like, oh wow, I didn't plan well enough. Darn.
Right.
That is this game. That is absolutely this game. So.
Actually, instead of, no.
You have 6 actions left.
I know.
5 actions after you did that. No, excuse me, 4 actions because that was 1 to go to the market. Oh, okay. So he's only gone to the market at this point. So. I'm going to explain, while he makes decisions, and this is a challenge for him, I'm going to show you a new part of the game. Let me go ahead and switch the detail cam real quick, if you would. I'm going to show you this card. You haven't seen this before, and we're getting near the end of the game. I want to show you what it does. So in the game, you're going to have goods that you need. This is called your sustenance thing. So what you do is is you'll have one representing every player has one of these, okay? And it's really valuable towards eras, end of Era 2, which we're in right now, Era 3, and obviously Era 4. So I need to keep track of how much food I'm producing and how much food I need. So right now, at this exact point, I'm producing no food, okay? So I can't, I wouldn't move this up, but you keep your balance here. But since I have at least one worker employed, it's on -1. So what this does is it's supposed to keep track of how much food you're producing versus how much food you sustain. So if I were producing food, which I'm going to be doing soon, I would move this up to say if I'm producing 2 food. Okay, so that's how much food I'm producing. So instead of putting food into the little spaces on my, board, this tracks how much I produce versus how much goes out. So to put it simply, I'm going to be producing 2 food probably by the end of this. 2 food will need to go to maintain 2 buildings. So basically it's net 0. So during the sustenance phase, all that happens is I basically don't collect any food from my food buildings. Remember, they're here. And I would pay on all the food would immediately go to pay the laborers. Now, if I had more food than laborers, let's say I was able to produce 4 food instead of 2, and only had 2 laborers, then that'd be a surplus of 2. So during the production phase, again, instead of putting food on each little building, I would just produce an extra 2 food at the end of the round. So to clarify again, you count up all the food you produce, whatever that is, subtract all the workers that need it, and wherever that's at during the sustenance phase is how much food you owe, if it's negative, or during the production phase, how much food you produce. So eventually, when you're tracking this, you'll also be tracking. Can you hand me one of the robes?
One the what?
Look inside the food bowl. There should be robes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So hand me a robe real quick. Okay. So you'll also be tracking like robes as well. So you'll have like, oh, I'm making 8 food. I'm making 3 robes. But I have to spend 2 robes and I have to spend 4 food. So during each production phase, I'm going to make 1 extra robe and 4 extra food, right? If they're at 0, it's great. You just it's just a net even. You don't pay anything. And if they're negative, that means you've got to have that much food or robes in your supply to cover the difference. In this case, I'd make 2 food, but I'd lose 2 robes at the end of each round if I didn't have them in my storage. So it's just a nice, easy way to track storage for the game. And have you track production?
Sorry. So what I ended up doing here is instead of going straight to the developer, I had to go up here, use my second Lord action to get another of the
another
joiners.
Plank. You get another plank, yeah.
So I can build the hostel.
So you can build a hostel. And what does a hostel do? It gives you 2 guys?
It gives me 2
hostel gives
yellow
them
guys.
two laborers. Great. Here are 2 laborers. If I can just get them out of the bowl. Here you go. 2 laborers, and they actually can live on the hostel, by the way.
Yep.
So improvements that serve as buildings, serve as places to live. You can actually put guys there. They can live there.
Right.
So and unemployed until they get jobs.
So I used that. So that's what I did.
Okay.
So I was hoping to move again, but
That was
unfortunately I
action
had to do it. No, that's action 3 because I had to move here first, and
Uh-huh.
then I had to move here.
Okay.
So it was market.
Oh,
Here,
got it.
here.
And so you finished there. You got 2 tools.
Right.
You built a card. You're all set. Here we go. Final 3 actions of the game. So for me, I'm going to jump right up here to the blacksmith. I'm going to turn one of the woods and one in the iron ore I just got, because that's all I have, into 2 tools, which is exactly what I needed. So that's action number 1. Action number 2 is to hop back over to the market, where I can, I don't know, do I have anything to convert? I have bricks to convert. In fact, I'm going to do that. I can convert 1 brick to 2 points. Well, I've got 3 bricks. So 1, 2, 3 brick to get 6 points, please. Can you give me 6 coins? This is the end of the game. Might as well get as many points as I can out of it, right? So 6 coins for me. And then now for my final action, I'm going to go ahead and go here to build hunting lodges. Now I'm going to need wood. I'm going to need at least 2 of them. And to do that, I'm going to need 4 wood and 2 clay. So I got the 2 clay on there already. Here's 3 wood to bring over here. Now I'm going to build it. It's going to take 6 tools. I have 7. So there's 6, 4, 2, and I need 2 hunting lodges, please. Hunting lodges. So now I'm producing, as soon as I put guys on them, which I'll go ahead and do now, they're free to put on there because they're farmers. I'm now producing food. So as far as this little guy is concerned again, I'm going to put my food production. Can I have a food token, please?
Mm-hmm.
There. I'm going to put my food production at 2 right now. That's what I'm making right now. Okay, great. So I'm just going to set that over here on the side.
All right.
Food production at 2. Great.
Is that all your actions?
That's it. That's all I could do. That's it for me.
All right. So I'm gonna move over here, and I'm also gonna trade in
Back to
3
the market.
brick.
Yep. Trading brick in for
For
6 points. Good move on his part. We're near the end of the game. That was
All right.
action 1. 2 more actions left.
Move here
2 clay.
and move here.
Okay, move back to
2
the
food.
baker to gain 2 food. Oh, you're taking 2 food, or you're gonna trade some in?
No, I'm taking.
Oh yeah, okay, because you want to assign those. Well, where are you gonna assign those laborers?
One here.
Oh, okay, that's good. Okay,
One
he's got places. He's good.
here. Yep.
That's it.
Actually, I don't need to go there.
Okay,
I just realized that.
he's gonna do a different final action.
Because I only have to pay them once.
That's right.
I don't have to pay them twice.
That's right.
So, that changes things.
You want to go to build a pub?
Huh?
I want to build a pub. It makes a coin. The pubs make
So I'll
coins
have
every
to do
time.
this.
Okay, he's going back to the
Alright.
market.
So,
So you don't really need to get those 2 clay then, right?
No.
Okay, so he's actually got 2 actions left. He's trying to decide what to do. 2 actions left to try to maximize on his points.
What I'm going to do is move that out.
Okay, so he's moving resources around right now back into his storage area so he can use them. I'm sensing a bunch of...
Move here.
Oh, back to the market again.
4, 5, 6.
Okay. Yeah. He's going to convert...
Actually, I needed one more out, so
Okay.
I need to push that.
Okay, so he's converting 8, what's it called? 8 clay into
and-
4 brick.
No, 2
Oh, never mind.
there, and 2 brick.
Okay, I think it's 1 for 1. It's one of all. It's all of
Okay.
one type to all of one type. So if you want to make them all
Yeah,
brick and
all
then turn
brick
them all
then.
into points afterwards,
Then all
Yeah.
brick.
and so now he's going to do another market jump
Yep.
to trade all those bricks he just made into 2 points each. That's 8 more points he just got. 8 more coins.
Right.
Woo! That was a killer ending move. I think that was a lot better than my ending move. All right, so now we're going to go through the end of the. This is it. This is literally the end of Era 2, end of Year 5 in Era 2. We're going to go through it. It says, first of all, new starting player. There is no new. I'm still me. Starting player adds new places. There's no more places to add. So now we can redistribute workers. I'm going to go ahead and... Now you want to make sure all your workers are employed if they can be employed, because that's the workers that are worth points. So since I now have 2 workers that need to have food, and are we showing the... Can we show the detail real quick?
Yep.
So I am producing 2 food, okay? Now I count up all the spaces that need food, which is 2, so this moves to 0. So what will end up happening during my production phase, and if we can switch back to looking at my map again. Okay, great. These buildings that are producing food will not produce anything. There is no food that will come in these because right now I use that little guide to show that I'm going to make no food. So now it's production phase. Frankly, production doesn't matter unless you make gold right now. Unless you're going to make money. So I'm not even going to do my production phase. And so now it's time to score.
Yep.
Okay, great. So scoring, if you'll take a calculator out, you got one?
No, I do not.
You have a computer right in front of you?
I do have a
Go ahead and
computer.
open the calculator.
All right.
I'm going to read off the points I get for what's out here, and then he'll calculate out my points for me, and then we'll do the same for him. Thank you so much for bearing with us. This is, like I said, complex game, involved game. We'll try to do an easier one next time, but boy, it's a really, really great game.
All right,
I hope
so
you enjoyed
your
seeing
points.
it. All right, so let's start with how many coins I have. So I have 5, 6, 7. I have 8 coins. Great.
All right, 8.
So for buildings, I've got 4 plus 4 plus 4, so that's 12. Should I give you all 2 at once?
So we have.
So we're at 8 coins right now. Let's
12.
do it. Plus 12 plus 2, 4, 6. 6 plus 6 is 12 more. Okay.
Sorry, hold on. So plus 12 more.
Plus 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 plus 10 more, so plus 20 more for these buildings. I'm just counting buildings right now. Plus, and remember, a building doesn't have to do work to get points for it. So then add 12 more for buildings again. So far, with points in buildings, I'm at 64. Now it comes down to employed. Oh, I have a few more buildings over here. I have 3 more points from this building, and 2 more points from this building for unemployed farmers. So 5 more from that. Now I count all my employed farmers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times 2 points each
18.
is 18. And then I have 2 employed laborers, which are 6 points each, so 12 more.
Alright, so your final score is 99.
I scored 99 points. Great. Let's
Alright.
do you.
Alright, so my total points is, we're going to do buildings first.
Oh, coins first. Coins first.
Coins, so I have 20.
20 coins. Lots and lots of time. Wow. All right, great. Buildings.
So 20, now we have buildings, so we have 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 21, 25, 29, 29, 31, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So 39 points in buildings before we do stores.
What about do you remember your improvement cards on the side?
Haven't done those yet.
Do those are buildings.
I'm also doing these too.
Okay.
So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus 9 more. That is complete total buildings.
Okay, so 68 now employed workers.
Alright, so we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 24.
12 plus 6 is
12 plus 12.
12 plus 12, sorry. It's 24. Equals 92.
That was a really close game.
Congratulations, Mark. That was a really close
Yes.
game, my gosh. So yeah, this was Colonist. Really glad you got to see it. We'd love to take ideas from you. If you've got ideas for games you'd like to see us play and teach, I hope it was easy to follow us. We'd love to hear your feedback.
Yes, I mean, Colonist is a fun game. It's not for everybody. It's a game for who do like mid and heavy Euros.
Yeah, it can be a bit heavy, especially as you're contemplating all the various actions you can take.
Right. So consider that when considering this game to either purchase or play, that it's not going to be one of those games that even though people will tell you, hey, this is going to be a 4-hour game. No,
Yeah.
It could last up to 8 hours.
It can be an 8-hour game for all four eras. Just be aware of just decide what you're going to play before you start and know what you're getting into. Great game,
All right.
though.
Well, thank you for joining us here. It's your turn. Next week, we will be doing... Ready?
Yeah.
Gaia Project.
Gaia Project. One of Marco's personal favorites.
I have lost to this man once. And he has lost to me most of that
That's
time.
true. I lose Gaia Project,
So it's going to be my bread and butter to play. So I love it.
We should take bets on who's going to win these games.
Oh my god. The bet is always going to be like, oh, Bryn's going to win.
That's
That's
how it
a
works.
real surprise.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again next week. And it's your turn.
Yeah.
Signing out.
See you later.